giving you the real surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with your host, Skywalker Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Whoa. Whoa. Good morning, good people. Welcome to the Skywalker Morning Show. We're streaming live on YouTube. And of course, I am your host, Will Skywalker Steele. Boom! Well, came on this morning to prepare for free agency, and we get a bomb. A Skywalker Morning Show bomb squad bomb dropped on us as the Cowboys open up free agency. Not with a signing, but with a trade. And not for most of the names that we've been discussing over the weeks. But the irony. A Green Bay Packer edge rusher. You cannot make this up, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, good morning, Bomb Squad.
Bomb Squad!
How is everyone doing? How is everyone doing this morning? So, listen, man, a lot has happened already. In free agency, we saw some deals starting to come down on Saturday and Sunday. Trades were starting to happen. Rumors were swirling. I came on this show prepared to talk to y'all about a couple other names that have been swirling around the Cowboys out at the Star headquarters. And then we wake up. Let me see if I can find this here. We wake up and we get a Ricky bomb. Well, the Cowboys, it looks like Ricky Scoops, who, for those who don't know who Ricky Scoops is, he's a majestic insider on Twitter. And Ricky comes out and he says, the Cowboys and Trey Hendrickson looks like it's a match that is going to happen. Not even an hour later. Where's my breaking news, bud? Breaking news. The Dallas Cowboys have traded for edge Rashan Gary for a what is now 2027 fourth round pick. Let's get the details here. Come back. Here it is right here. Cowboys trade for, this is defensive lineman, but it's really going to be a outside linebacker / edge, Rashan Gary, to the Cowboys for a 2027 fourth round. 2020, I expected the compensation not to be out this world, but a 2027 fourth? Part of me is like, let's effing go, because the Cowboys needed some edge help. And Rashan Gary, while I will admit, Rashan Gary was not at the top of my list of the guys that were available. Obviously, Max Crosby, right? Again, I was going to come on here to talk about Max Crosby going to the Baltimore Ravens for 2 first-round picks and the Cowboys' other options. And one of those other options was Trey Hendrickson, among others, right? Trey Hendrickson, Boye Mafe, Owe Dafe. Or was it Dafe Owe? I always get that mixed up. Jalen Phillips, a lot of them. Rashan Gary falls in the tier around there. I don't think he's far out below, or he's definitely not above Trey. This is a quality rusher that did not have a good second half to the season for whatever reason. I have not went and studied his tape to tell you why that may have been. Packer fans are not really upset with this move. When it was talked about a couple days ago that they could be moving on from Rashan Gary, they were like, good riddance in a way. So I guess in a sense, you got to be a little careful with that. But again, I have to go look at the tape myself. I'm not going to lie to y'all and tell you what Rashan Gary was when we studied him going into that game. Because when we studied him going into the game for the against the Packers, totally different aura around Rashan Gary. I remember watching that, and you know, me, Tuai, the fellas, we're like, hey, it's gonna be a rough time. Because obviously Micah Parsons and Rashan Gary are a tough 1-2 punch, and he was phenomenal to start the year. And then it tailed off. You know, Micah got hurt, and he just didn't really show up like that. And Packer fans were just like, whatever. So, turn my mic up. Check, 1, 2. 1, 2. If I'm too low, let me know. If I'm too loud now, let me know. By the way, y'all can call into the show. Get out of here. And let's talk about this thing. Excuse me. 351-999-3787. So there's a whole lot around this Rashan Gary trade. The compensation's number one. You gave up essentially nothing. You could look at that two ways. Why was it essentially nothing? Or, man, this is an amazing steal. Now let's go look at the contract part of this whole thing. Because the Cowboys came in talking about busting the budget. That wasn't just about free agency, right? Like, you can bust the budgets in this way. And that's what's happening. If I had to guess, this is going to be their budget busting move per se. Not saying they're done, but if you're going after a Trey, if you're going after a Max Crosby, that was going to cost you upwards of 30 million plus. Max was going to cost you 35 plus. Trey likely 30-ish plus. Here is what it looks like, excuse me, for Rashan Gary. He has 2 more years left on his deal. The cap hit for this year, at least in Green Bay, this could come down on trades. Not sure. We'll listen to what the guys at Over the Cap have to say, or Spotrac. $28 million cap hit this year. $31 million cap hit next year. Just guessing here. That is probably going to be a little higher than everyone except, I would say, Trey Hendrickson from a cap basis. And Trey might not even been that high, to be honest, from a cap basis, because you can, if you sign a free agent, you can move the monies. However, they could do a couple things. So they could rework the contract. They could extend him. I don't know if I see that though. If they extend him, to me, this is Christian Parker saying this we have to keep him in tow for at least 3 to 4 years. And maybe they give him an extra year to push the money back down, add a void year. There's a lot of things they can do to move that money. Do I expect that to happen? TBD. I'll reach out to my peoples and see what that looks like. They could also do nothing. They could just sit on this because, again, 2027 4th round pick, maybe there is something weird with that situation. They could say, hey, look, we're fine going into the season with this cap hit, and let's see what happens next year and revisit it. Because if they want an out, they can technically get the out and save $22.5 million on the cap by either trading him before June 1st or cutting him as a June 1st designation. So I don't think they're going to touch this contract just right off the bat. Just thinking out loud, haven't really been able to sit with this because it just happened 15, 20 minutes ago or what have you. So I do wonder if they just sit tight and let this thing roll to next year and then figure out what they want to do, because it's still a pretty hefty cap hit. And if you move monies around, then you have to deal with that later. And you know how they are about that. Right. But can I just talk about the irony real quick? When we traded, are we allowed to say his name? Or are we still in the Voldemort situation? When we traded Voldemort, a lot of us was like, hey, man, Rashan Gary would have been a nice throw in here because we need rushers. You just got rid of one. We need another rusher. Got Kenny Clark. Awesome. Which, by the way, pairing Kenny Clark with Rashan Gary again. But I think Gary might have shot up the rankings of players because he has worked with Christian Parker, and not just Christian Parker. Let me find it here. He's also worked with, I'll let you guys take a look at this as well. He's also worked with pass game coordinator Derek Ansley during their time in Green Bay. So not that, this guy's going to be dropping back in coverage like a DB, but he probably has familiarity with the head honchos, if you will, on the defensive side. Like I told you guys before, I think that Ansley, while he won't be his right-hand best friend guy, that's Ryan Smith, I think he's going to be his OG. He's going to be the guy he goes to, eyes in the sky if he's not in the box, right? He's done this before. Hey, man, how can I do this? Why should I do that? I haven't called defenses yet, and he's the guy I think he's going to lean on because Ansley has called a defense in the NFL or was a defensive coordinator, let me say that, in the NFL. So I did mention Kenny Clark, right? Here's another caveat to this whole thing. Prior to and this is how you could probably tell something was about to happen. Prior to the Cowboys making this trade, they did rework Terrence Steele's contract. And let me go take a look at that and give you all the details, because I actually sit on this side. I've settled on this side of the fence with Terrence Steele. I said this on the collective. I said it to you guys. You would ask me this in November. I'd have been like, yeah, they're probably going to move on. But the more and more I thought about it, I'm like, I just can't see them moving on, creating another opening, if you will, for a guy that they believed in. They believe in him. Whether we believe in him or not, they believe in Terrence Steele. Here's the information on Terrence's reworked contract. It says, this is from me in Rappaport. And then I think, let me see. I don't have it saved, but I think there's another one that basically says this is a pay cut. The Cowboys and offensive tackle Terrence Steele restructured the deal, and his new one includes $22 million in fully guaranteed money, a base value of 33 to 36 million max with the negotiation. Creates about 13 million in cap space, and it's essentially a pay cut. They said, here, we'll give you guaranteed money now to basically not cost us a lot later. Creates 13 million in cap room. I expect potentially another one. The reason why I brought up Kenny Clark. Kenny ain't going nowhere. Christian Parker loves Kenny Clark. He said Kenny Clark in this style of defense was the best nose tackle, which goes to tell you where he's going to play. He's likely going to be in that, one tech nose tackle role when they do the lining up over the center stuff. Kenny Clark's going to be here. And if Kenny Clark's going to be here, they're likely going to rework his contract, whether that be an extension, whether that be some funny money, phony money, whatever. He's going to be here. Also, Quinnen Williams, another $20+ million on the cap hit this year. I would expect them to extend Quinnen Williams. That's the one that's a no-brainer. Gary, I don't expect that, but that could change. They can create money by doing so. Clark, I can see it, but it could be like a 2-year thing out after one if they don't feel good. Quinnen, lock him up. Throw away the key. He goes nowhere. Here's your 4-year extension. You are retiring a Cowboy unless you absolutely fall flat on your face. Those two moves will create more cap space for the Cowboys to be players today. Right? For the Cowboys to be players today. So, first move is in the books. The Cowboys trade for Rashan Gary. The name started to get some steam, I think, a couple days ago when the rumor came out that the Packers cut him. And then same day, people came out and said, wait a minute, he's not cut yet. And this has happened with a few other players. I want to say Zaire, is it Franklin? There's a couple other players, rumors, reports, whatever you want to call it, and came out and said, hey, this player's getting cut. I think that was a way of the team saying, if you want first dibs, come on and get him. I do think the Packers were ready to move on from Rashan Gary, but teams, or maybe the Cowboys, didn't want to get in a bidding war with Rashan Gary. So the Packers said, we'll take what we can get, which is a 2027 fourth round pick, which to me is not a high price at all. At all. Very, very cheap price for Rashan Gary. What's not cheap, though, is the cap, and we'll see exactly what happens. Now, as we're going today, there is going to be a lot of breaking news, so I'm going to try to keep up with that. And here we go, if you want to call it that. But in addition to Terrence Steele's restructure, the Cowboys have also restructured safety Malik Hooker's contract, according to a person with knowledge of the situation. So on a collective, we played a little game, and Malik Hooker's name got brought up. And one of the words that I said, hey, if we want to throw in an extra adjective, I said safe. Is he a fit? I don't believe he's a great fit, but is he safe? I think he's safe. I would love to overhaul the entire room, but didn't think that they would do it. I didn't think that they would they're going to have to get one, at least one, whether that's free agency, whether that's a draft, what have you. Do I believe a team that does not invest in safety was going to go through a whole overhaul? No. So I thought that Malik Hooker was safe. And now that they have restructured his contract, it is clear he's safe for at least this season, which is not terrible because you have a veteran back there to kind of bridge this thing. If you draft a guy, or they can still sign a guy, right? But now I have a hard time believing the guy that they have interest in, which I want to talk about here in a second, is an option. Or do they say, screw it? Yes, there are many safety options in that first round in the draft, but we want to get the veteran guys back there, and then we'll go into the draft and just take the best guy available. All right? So let me do this. Shouts out to y'all for jumping in here. Let me talk to a couple of y'all. And then I want to jump into the three names that are still linked and plugged to the Cowboys, but one of them I think is now out. Let me wrap the Hoodie Kush real quick. What's good with you, bro?
God, what's the deal, bro?
What's happening, man? How you feeling about Rashan Gary being the newest Dallas Cowboy?
Hey, most people probably looking at it like I was just on that. You know, you got some naysayers saying, "Oh man, Rashan Gary for a third. Oh man, the Cowboys are getting raped." No, it's Rashan Gary for a fourth, and Rashan Gary is better than what we had on this team last season. So,
sure.
People can poo-poo on the name all they want. I think Jadeveon Clowney was our best pass rusher, right? So he had 8-9 sacks. Rashan Gary had that last season.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He probably didn't have the season that he wanted, but he had somewhat similar numbers, and that at least washes that out. That gives Donovan Ezaraku an opportunity to learn from someone of Rashan Gary's ilk. You know what I'm saying? Did I want Minka? Yes, I did.
By the way, Minka Patrick has been traded to the Jets. That was another name floating around.
Yeah, for a seventh. Yeah, he was traded to the Jets for a seventh.
And he got an extension.
Hey, I guess maybe we wouldn't have given him an extension. I don't know. I mean, he's almost on the wrong side of 30, right?
I think Minka's 29. Could be wrong, could be 30. But the thing about safeties like that, they could play to, I mean, look at Harrison Smith. They could play to about 33, 34 at a high level.
Dig it. All right. I'll take your word for it. You're the expert, not me.
No, I'm not an expert, bro.
But close enough. I'll be listening to y'all. Y'all be talking that good stuff. Yeah, man. I'm trying to do my best in the same space. That's all. I'm optimistic, man. Yeah, the Joneses are moving a little different. You know what I'm saying? They're at least more active on day one than they have been in the past. You know what I'm saying? Last year was a Kenneth Murray, Jack Sanborn. This year it's a Rashan Gary and possibly
probably more.
Probably exactly, especially after doing what they did with Terrence Steele. Now on that one, I have always been of the mindset with Terrence Steele that even though he may have his woes in the pass protection, he has been the only lineman that's played. What is that?
He's been durable. outside of that, games. Yeah, outside of ACL injury, he's played the most snaps on that line over the last 4 years.
The only one.
Yeah,
he's the only one. Now you get him moving, like we saw last year in the run game. Oh yeah, he does his thing. Pass pro, not so much. But that's one of those things like the devil you know is better than the devil you don't know. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not too upset about it, and to free up more cap space makes it palatable. I'll say that. It makes it more palatable. You know what I'm saying? But, man, for the most part, man, I'm just I'm looking forward to seeing how the rest of the day goes, at least day one, and then we'll dive into day two.
Indeed, brother. Appreciate the call, Hoodie Kush.
You already know, bro. You be good, man. Stay
You
safe.
as well. Yeah, I mean, there's no denying. There's warts with Terrence Steele. But if you read between the lines at the Combine, Coach Clayton Adams came out, and I had this conversation. Again, I'll bring this up a lot on the collective. But Clayton Adams spoke very highly of Terrence Steele. They flat out asked him. Somebody, I think, 105 through the fans said, hey, with another year, do you think you can get some of these issues corrected with Terrence Steele? I think he is who he is, right? A really good run blocker and a very inconsistent pass blocker. That will surprise you sometimes, right? Have a good day against a Max Crosby, but then he'll get whooped by somebody in Chicago. Very inconsistent there. I don't think he's just all of a sudden going to be this plus pass blocker. You need him to be solid more often than he's bad, right? But you could hear that they were very confident in him, or at least Clayton Adams was. And there was some kind of hesitancy with Will McClay and Coach Shoddy in regards to Guyton, whether that be because of the injuries or whether that be because of play or a combination of both. There's like, hey, we need this guy to be available so he can get better. If not, there's this thought process that him and Thomas could be fighting for left tackle, which is, I hope not. I hope they just let Guyton just go through his warts there. But that's another discussion. I haven't asked you guys in the chat. Y'all can let me know. Where are you guys at with this Rashan Gary trade? Give me let's grade it. Let's grade it. How about that? I think this is a B, a solid B for right now. Again, have to go back and watch the latter part of the season. The reason why I'm gonna go B is I didn't know contractually that he was that dang expensive. I was like, oh, I thought he was falling in the lines of maybe the 20, 21 or 18-ish million. And so my hope is that they don't use this as an excuse to stop shopping. That's why I'm at a B right now. But if they go ahead and keep going, maybe this goes up for me to a B plus. I don't think he's an A player, so I'm not going to give it an A. But in regards to the compensation, getting an getting a good edge rusher, I still think he's a good rusher. But the contract's kind of weird because, I mean, it's not that far off from a Max Crosby. We're talking about like $5-6 million less, which is, I think he's not $5-6 million less than Crosby. But the compensation is the reason why that did not happen, by the way. I think a lot of people are in the same thought process here in regards to where this is going to fall. A lot of A's to B's. Toxic, surprisingly, said A plus. F them picks. I'm all about F them picks. F them picks for top guys for sure. But 2027 fourth is nothing to me. I don't even consider that part of the picks, right? F them picks to me is 1, 2, and 3, or specifically 1 and 2. For instance, the LA Rams. Whenever they're all done with this movement here, Les Snead needs to go into the Hall of Fame. Pioneer, whatever you want to call it. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. They have had one first round pick in the last 10 drafts. One. And they hit on that mother. Jared Verse. Every other first round pick is gone to a different trade. They just traded one for Trent McDuffie and gave him a ridiculous amount of money. Shouts out to Trent McDuffie. And when somebody had asked, I think it was on the collective, hey, man, would you trade for Trent? I said, man, I would love Trent. But the Cowboys aren't going to trade for him and give him the money right away. And then we'll be right back here next year doing this whole song and dance with contracts and who the hell knows. So if you told me they would trade him and sign him, sure. But they weren't going to do that. And that's exactly what the Rams did. They said, if we're going to give up the first or a premium pick, whatever, you're getting signed immediately. Same thing happened with Minkah Fitzpatrick just now. They traded a late pick and they extended him. That's usually what happens. The Cowboys have traded for guys like Rashan Gary with years left. I don't expect an extension, though. I could be way wrong. I just don't expect an extension just yet. Let's see how this thing goes. Nick Harris did just tweet. He expects more players to be added here. So Rashan's 28. Excuse me. I thought he was 29. If I mentioned his age. Oh, this says 29 on Spotrac. Maybe he's turning 29. I am with Nick. I said this to Vach. I said, look, whether they went out and they got Trey, whether they went out and they got Max Crosby, they still, to me, needed to add another edge. This scheme is going to be predicated on a bunch of dudes getting after it, not just one guy and a second-year developmental guy. And unless you got Max, you could argue, all right, we got the one guy, right? Like the, and everyone else can kind of do the whole Micah Parsons thing where you had the guy in Micah and everyone else was, it was all right, but it worked out. He's not in that. Rashan Gary is not in that same ilk. So I do think they have to add another one. So prior to this morning, there were a couple players the Cowboys I was told had interest in, or at least these were the names coming out of the Star, and one of them that probably gets scratched off the list here is Boye Mafe. Dropped a video on Boye Mafe a week or so ago. Can't quite remember. I think he's an underrated edge rusher in this free agent class. The numbers from last year will probably knock him down from a money standpoint. But for what the Cowboys, in my opinion, are looking to do at edge, which is a gang of dudes, or at least 3 dudes and a couple, reserves, I thought Mafe would have fit excellently in that. He has experience in this type of system. I think he's starting to develop a multiple set of moves. I don't think he had that coming out. Very explosive rusher, powerful rusher, and he plays the run pretty decently too. Very underrated guy in this free agent class. However, now I think with Rashan Gary, we could be looking at some guys below that. But I thought the Mafes, the Oways, the Phillips, the Cowboys were going to be in play. And again, coming out the Star, they were. But without a shadow of a doubt, Nakobe Dean just feels like the move for the Cowboys. If you wanted to say, well, what one move in free agency do you have confidence Cowboys will do? It feels like Nakobe Dean. Now, unless teams want to throw a crazy bag at him, then they're probably out. And I said this to you guys before. A lot of fans don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear it because he's been an injured guy. And I get it. I totally get it. But if you're looking for a dude to come in here that can play, like Dean's play is not the issue. It's injuries. And people are like, hey, man, we got an injured guy in Demo. Why bringing another one? I'm not going to argue with you. That's a fair concern. When the dude plays, though, he's a really good player. I think he's a really good young player that's still growing and getting better. And he knows the scheme. He knows the coach. It just makes sense, especially if it's not some he's not getting a ridiculous amount of money that stops you from continuing to add. But Dean is a name that has been linked to the Cowboys for a while, but officially inside the Star, they are eyeing Nakobe Dean. Now, again, that could change. He could get signed right this second, and I'm refreshing as we go here. Then safety Jalen Thompson. Again, I did a video about a month ago on Nakobe Dean and Jalen Thompson being, I think, legitimate options in free agency. And Thompson, the whole premise of the video was guys connected to the Cowboys coaching staff. Thompson doesn't have a direct connection to Christian Parker, but he has a direct connection to Ryan Smith. Ryan Smith is the Cowboys' new secondary coach. He was a cornerbacks coach in Arizona. Jalen Thompson. We've been talking about this role of, hey, can you go down, play in a box? Can you play nickel? Can you do these multitude of things? He's shown that during his time in Arizona. He's played down in the box, I think over 250 snaps or roughly 250 snaps last year and over 135 for the last 5 seasons, I believe. So he's played a lot of snaps down there. He's a guy that's played on the roof a whole lot. This is why I don't know if he's still at play anymore due to Malik Hooker because that's where Malik plays. I would have chosen Jalen Thompson over Malik Hooker. I think he's a better player right now. And maybe they still do. Maybe they still bring him in and say, you know what, we want 2 veteran guys back there. And for my draft heads, maybe there's somebody on day 3 that they can develop. Draft heads would have to let me know. But I still think Jalen Thompson makes a ton of sense here, man. A ton of sense. I don't think the safety room is going to look the same. Donovan Wilson is a free agent. Hearing nothing about him returning, that could change. Wanye Thompson, they did not tender Wanye Thompson. Marquise Bell is still here. We'll see what they decide to do there with Marquise Bell. Got that extension, nothing crazy, but didn't play a whole lot last year in that scheme. Jalen Thompson would be the best safety on this team, and I don't even think it's particularly close. Don't think it's close. So we're going to keep our ears and eyes plugged as we keep going here because the Cowboys are not done. I can tell you that for sure. They're not going to be done here. They still need help at all levels. Even with Rashan Gary here, they need another edge, so it could be another depth guy. They need somebody in the middle of the defense, maybe 2 linebackers. And they need secondary help. They need a safety, and they need corners. Or a corner. Let me say that. So I'm going to keep refreshing here. Wrap to you guys. And let's see what's up. Let's get Toxic Tom on the horn. What's good with you, bro?
Hey, good morning, Sky. How are you doing today? Did you guys get some warm weather finally up in PA?
Oh, man, it's beautiful walking weather now, man. Finally.
Finally. Yeah, down in Virginia, too. Feel that pain with you, man. I said A+ on this because for one simple reason. I'm of the opinion if you have a good hand, you go all in. And you do what you can if you got a fighter's chance. You got a quarterback that's going to be 33 this year. It's an all-pro quarterback. You have a top 5 scoring offense. You have a coaching staff that established a system that you see works. You need to take advantage of this right now. They didn't last year, and I think they're realizing now that they have to strike the iron while the iron is hot because it's going to be over before you know it.
Well, let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
Is Rashan
Sure.
Gary a strike the iron type of move?
In the sense that if you're looking at it in terms of pure value for a 4th-round pick, I can't remember the last time the Cowboys drafted a 4th-rounder that was anything close to him. And you are so desperate on defense for anything, yeah, I would say that's a strike the iron. You took advantage of a good situation. We're usually the team that gives the guy away for a 4th-round pick. So that's where I'm like, just get as many dudes as you possibly can because the guys you tried it out last year, the Dante Fowlers and all them, they were not cutting it. I just think it was a good situation for a 4th-round pick that probably would have amounted to next to nothing anyway. But I'm also of the opinion of F the money right now. Just get that defense even league average, and you're a playoff team. So, and that's where the sense of urgency is where I'm at with it. Could I see why fans are looking at the price tag and scoffing a little bit? Sure. I'm also looking at it as, is it better than anything we had? Yes. Did it cost us much in terms of draft capital? Absolutely not. Is he going to play a lot based on what we've seen this year? 100% yes. And if it matches what Christian Parker wants as defensive coordinator, I'm all for it. I've been begging this team to be aggressive.
I'd argue.
Go ahead.
I'd argue it was not better than anything we had last year. Again, I'm gonna go watch the tape.
Fair.
I'm gonna go watch the tape because I know that second half was not great for him. I'd argue Clowney was better.
That's fair.
Yeah, I'd argue Clowney. The reason why I asked that is because I feel like you get Max, that's striking wise high. You get Trey, that's striking because those guys are tier 1. We have to game plan, slide protection, things like that type of situation. And again, this is not to knock the move. This is like when you say striking while it's hot. Now you go get me Trey with Rashan Gary. Now I feel like you're talking about striking while it's hot. You go get Boye. You go add to Rashan. That's striking while it's hot to me. If it's just Rashan Gary and then we're going to go bring back a Dante Fowler type, I gotta wait to see how that will work out. That's all I'm saying.
I 100% agree. And let me preface this by saying, too, I'm under the illusion that Dallas is not done. If this is just it, then yes, I would say, why did you stop? That's what she said. But at the same time,
it can't be done.
If you go out and get another proven pass rusher, which you always need, and you go out and get proven NFL players, and it's costing you day 3 picks like Viliami Fehoko, and what other non-playable characters have they drafted in the late rounds that people, Deuce Vaughn and all that, man, F them picks. Go out and get it. And if that means moving a first to go get a proven dude, do it for your 33-year-old quarterback who turns 33 this year in July. Take advantage of this. And the last thing I'll say is I can live with you betting hard and losing rather than what you've been doing, which is nothing and just expecting things to be different. I can live with that. And that's all I have to say. Cowboys Nation, let's pray that we actually do something today, and let's enter this season going to the NFL draft, not going to the store hungry. Y'all have a good day.
Appreciate you, brother. I will say this, sometimes change of scenery helps. Chip on the shoulder. I mean, Rashan Gary hears the noise. Obviously, knowing the Packers don't want him anymore, especially for that compensation, you hope that chip on the shoulder coming to Dallas gives him a bit of a spark to be kind of that, man, where is number 52 or whatever number he's going to wear? Do I think he's that player? No, I don't think he's that player, but that doesn't mean I don't think he can be productive, especially in this scheme. I think he's a good rusher for sure. That has not been that over the last, I don't know, 10, 11. The last half of that year was weird for him. Very, very weird. And I have to go back and watch why it was so weird. But I don't think this is the tier 1 rusher. I do think this is a guy that if you got him in your room with other dudes, let's go. Let's go. But if that's your only guy, all right now. Gonna need some dudes to wake up, right? Like gonna need Eazy-E to turn the hell up. But I can't fathom they're done. Can't fathom they're done. So a lot of people just jumped up in here. Appreciate y'all. Trey Hendrickson. Our guy Ricky. If you don't know who Ricky Scoops is on Twitter, go look him up. Just Google him. He dropped before this Rashan Gary stuff that Trey Hendrickson and the Cowboys were happening. And then not even 30 minutes later, this trade happened. I do wonder, and I should have asked him about it. I do wonder. Is he still in play? Is he still in play? Do they go out and still sign Trey? Which, by the way, if Cowboys love trading for players that already have contracts because they've got to negotiate the deal. But do they say, screw it, go get Trey, backload the contract where front load it, really, give you the money up front where at the end of the contract, the cap hits are going to be sky high? I don't know. I still think a guy like Boye Mafe could be in play. But with the money that I didn't know Rashan Gary was having, I do get PTSD. The Cowboys won't do it. Same thing with Trey. Like they'll look at this and say, well, we're paying Rashan Gary. I would imagine that the Packers are going to take some of this. I have to go look and find my guy Jason over the cap. All right, here it is. Updated cap hit. $19 million. $19.5 million. All right. That was fast. Shouts out to Spotrac. So Rashan Gary is going to cost you $19.5. About a little less or a little more than half or less than half of what a max would call you, but it's max, right? It's Max Crosby. Is that enough for them to spook themselves into saying, well, we don't want to go spend anymore? Or is it right on that line and say, well, look, got Rashan, only going to cost $19.5 this year. We can sign a Boye Mafe, and his cap hit can be roughly 10, 12, 13 million, not a whole lot. So now you get 2 rushers for the price of the one high-end guy. I think that's possible. Whether it's the Boye, whether it's a Dafe, whether it's whomever. right? Which, by the way, keep refreshing there because I'm pretty sure some of these are about to come down the pipe. Nothing just yet. If y'all see something, let me know. But I don't think they should stop. They absolutely cannot stop. They need more. And I said this to you guys. Again, I said it to Vox. I don't care if they went out and got Trey or they went out and got Crosby. They needed to add another one. Crosby, though, might give you a little pause because, you know, he's like 2-3 dudes in one sometimes. But even if they added a Trey, gotta get another one. Maybe Rashan Gary is the other one, and they still have their sights set on a higher prize here. But I can't wait to go watch Rashan Gary's film to see like what was the reason that things kind of fell off last year. I saw somebody say Micah Piss. You know. I'm not sure if y'all know this, man. Boy was throwing some shots last year. In a way, and I think they were to this guy, but that's the Packers' problem. I don't know what they're gonna do. That's on them. How many times did Gary drop? I don't foresee Gary dropping a whole lot. I think he falls in one of those categories where, let me see though, you're not asking him to be in coverage a whole lot. Again, I think there are responsibilities that some of these dudes are going to have to play, right? And then there's some guys that just it's not in their wheelhouse. But oh yeah, yo, he's not dropping. Is this real? I mean, I figured he wasn't, but damn it, he's not. PFF. This is PFF coverage snaps for Rashan Gary over his career. 5, 6, 8. 2, 4, 2, 8. He ain't dropping back, fellas and ladies. Not happening. Which, follow me here. If he's the type of guy that's not going to drop back, that's just going to be head down, rush the passer, you know, set the edge. You only got one dude that does that right now. And that's Izaraku in regards to being able to drop back a little bit. This scheme does require a guy to do that. Oppo, a little bit. Again, I did the studies. On average, between 40 to 60 coverage snaps for that kind of strong side guy is sometimes more. Jalen Phillips dropped back 76 times last year. Interesting. No, T-Dub, I don't think he's going to be a down lineman in that sense. They got enough of those. I think he's going to be an outside linebacker unless they say, yo, pack on 15 pounds and play defensive tackle. I'll be shocked if they did that. I think this is your outside linebacker. He fits the mold of a 3-4 outside linebacker for sure. Not all 3-4 outside linebackers are going to drop back all the time or even that much. I think if I go look at, again, TJ Watt or CD Watt, he don't drop back a lot. But when he does, he gets a pick. He knocks the ball down. You know. DJ said, our D-Law move. He could be the kind of strong side run defense guy. Could be. Let's talk to the original OG, B Bird. What's up with you, man?
Nothing much, man. How you doing today, Scott?
I'm good, man.
I feel like old times, man. You coming on at 8:30 in the morning.
Look, I planned on it for the day, right? We got free agency hitting, and then the Cowboys said, "No, Scott, you need to go on a lot sooner because have this trade."
Yeah. Hey, so one thing I would say, Sky, is that if you look at the history, I kind of looked at this about 3 to 4 years ago. Been kind of watching it. Amari Cooper, Cooks, Gilmore, Clark, Williams, Hankins, even Pickens, they've all acquired via the trade. So the Cowboys really like, and you kind of said it before, they really like trades because they don't have to bid on players and get into a bidding war. And so they like contracts that are already in place so they can already kind of see how it fits into what they're doing. So I would say right now, man, I don't want to cast any gloom on it, but really it's still business as usual because they do make trades. Now, The thing about it is, will they get into this free agency market? And one thing that you brought up that's kind of scaring me a little bit is, okay, I'm giving you a scenario because I really like Trey Henderson because I think he can go back to the form he had in 23 and 24 where he had 17.5 sacks if he's healthy. I really want to get him. I need a significant pass rusher that takes double teams and this, that, and the other, which I don't think Gary is. But do you think this precludes them from going after him? Because I hope nothing even happened where they had to go to plan B in free agency or in this period to say, okay, we lost out on Hendrickson, and so we got to fall back and get Gary. Because that price tag is kind of high to me for Gary. So I'm just, I know what Toxic said prior to about the draft capital, but I'm looking at the cap hit and what they're going to do with that. And, 19 million. I guess that's decent. You did
it's not terrible, yeah.
But the question I was asking you was do you think this is a response to them not getting Henderson or not closing that deal, or what do you think about that?
I'm in the same line of thinking as you, and it's not that. So if this was another team, right, I wouldn't care about thinking about, well, does this cap hit affect more moves, because other teams don't care. We have PTSD because they use that as, hey, well, wait now. We're paying this guy, so we're not going to pay another guy. So I'm with you. I do have this kind of question mark in my head of, damn, are we done? But we shouldn't be. Like we shouldn't be done. So I can't stand on, oh, nah, this isn't going to rule us out of Trey. It shouldn't. Because here's the thing with the Trey Henderson deal. If you go out and get a trade, the injury stuff is a little bit concerning. Hips, 31, that is no joke, right? Like that is something that's a little scary. But you got to take chances. And if you're going to take a chance on anybody, I'm going to take the chance on the elite rusher. You are my elite employee, right? Like he's an elite rusher. I'll take that chance all day and tomorrow. Then saying, you know what? There's this what's the cat out there in Atlanta. I can't pronounce his name. He plays all the time, doesn't get hurt, but he's a DE 3-4 guy. We know he's going to play. He's only going to cost me $8 million. Let's do that instead. Nah, take that chance on a Trey Hendrickson, in my opinion. So I'll answer the question this way. I don't think it should deter them because they can sign him and they can manipulate the contract to fit in this window where you don't get smacked too hard until maybe year 3. And if they don't want to go that far, then you don't get smacked till year 2. But you can easily sign him, give him a bonus where the cap hit this year is not crazy. Like if the cap hit for Gary's 19, you can probably get Trey's cap hit to be 15-ish, maybe a little more. And you're talking about getting 2 rushers for under 40 million. Even if it goes up to 40 million, right? Total, you're talking 20 million a piece. Yeah. If we want to play funny money to make us fit, if we want to gaslight ourselves. If you can get this cap hit to 25 million or less in year 1, you get 2 rushers in year 1 for the price of 1 elite guy, and he's an elite guy.
Yeah. And that's what I'm interested in now, man. Elite people at their positions. We settle for mediocre guys, and I'll tell you this, guys. In our community, scared money don't make money, man. And what it is you can't be scared, man. You got to go out there and say, hey, we need to go for the gusto instead of getting the bargain, the great value. No, I ain't talking about great value. I'm talking about, man, we got a great value in this guy. But I know you can't continue to construct your roster like an accountant. You got it. This is a competition, man. This is not trying to get the book straight and get best value for this and best value for that. You got to get guys that can actually go out there and make an impact on that game. Moneyball never worked in Major League Baseball. It just got bad teams good. It never got good teams great. And you got to be great to win a championship, man. So I just hope that they haven't changed at all at this point in time until they sign somebody of significance, because the trade is where they've always landed at. That's where we've gotten our last 8 or 9 good players from. So they just waited till this time to do it like it's a splash, it's a free agency. But and one question I'll ask before you leave, and I'm going to get off. So they're getting ready to cut him, and I understand why you go and get him because you don't want to be bidding. But I don't think his bidding would have been that high. And I'm going to go off the line and see what you say about that, man. I appreciate you letting me on, Scott. Appreciate you having me again in the morning like we used to, brother.
Have a good day. Thank you, B-Bird. All it takes is one team, right? And looking through the chat here, very good point. Let me see. I want to make sure I give you credit. There it is. TB5077 said, hey, Scott, Gary's out of guaranteed money. He said they could let him go next offseason and not owe. and that's something we talked about earlier, TB5077, was that they can move on next year, Rashan Gary, whether it's trade or cut, and save $22.5 million. That's why I don't think they're going to extend him. I mean, they could, but I $19.5 million cap hit this year is not terrible. Next year is 22. I don't even know if he's that type of player anymore. We're going to find out, but it's not something that should stop you from continuing to go after guys. So would there be a bidding war? I mean, you could be right, but all it takes is one. And then with that, you're probably tied to a Rashan Gary guaranteed money way more than you are now. I think that's something they looked at, was the structure of the current contract. They liked it. They said, look, let's get him in here. He has 2 years left. 28 will be 29, I think, during the season. So obviously not over the hill from an age standpoint. Yes, he was not the top guy last year. And I mean, you could argue he hasn't even lived up to their contract extension, right? But see if we can rehabilitate him here. If it doesn't work out, you get the 22.5 next year on the cap, and we try this thing again. Again, though, I don't want this to be the end all be all. I don't. Let's take a look at a couple other options here. Again, y'all let me know if things come down the pike that some of these guys have been signed, right? We all know Trey Hendrickson is the guy. Here's what I find interesting. PFF, and the reason why I'm using PFF is more user-friendly for you guys to see than Spotrac. I love Spotrac as well. They have the market value, and they're usually way off. Like, they're not the same at all. So I'm using PFF's rankings because it's cool how it goes. However, they have it here, 1 year, $21 million average, $17 million guaranteed. I find that interesting because that's not what it was like a week ago. Speculating here. Do they know something we don't know? Or do they know something that some people in the know? This is what they said. Henderson's battled injury throughout the 2025 season, but he's still ranked 6th among edge defenders in PFF pass rush grade. He has now posted 5 consecutive seasons with the pass rush grade of over 85 and generated 23 pressures and 177 snaps. 1 year, 21 million. Oh, man, that's not even. Yes. Right. However, Cowboys don't usually do that type. Maybe 2 years, 45 million, 20 something guarantee with an out type thing or whatever, 30 or whatever. But the reason why I bring this up, do they know something injury wise? Because how they go from a multi-year deal at roughly 30 or whatever it may have been to 1 year, 21? Something to think about. Odafe Owe and Jalen Phillips, for that matter, are two other big names in the pass rush market. I like both of these guys. I think they both can fit here. And if you told me I can get Odafe Owe with a Rashan Gary, I feel a lot better because I think Gary's probably more run guy and that can do some pass rush things, where Odafe is stupid athletic enough to be a pass rush problem. And he showed that when he went to the Chargers. He literally had a donut. He was not high pressure guy, not high sack guy. Before he got, when I say guy, I mean last year in 2025. Before he got traded to the Chargers, and then he just took off. So I mean, I like either one. And Jalen Phillips have here 1 year, $15 million deal. Again, injuries, right? Phillips can play. Injuries. That's the thing. Last year, didn't deal with a lot of them. Went to Philly, stayed healthy, was productive, knows the scheme, knows the defensive coordinator. But it sounds like Philly is trying to bring him back. 1 year, $15 million though. Yeah, again, maybe not 1 year because the whole $15 million goes right on the cap. Likely they're probably going to want the whole thing guaranteed at 15. Even 12.5, right? Not a whole lot on the cap, but I would imagine the Cowboys would probably want to get a multi-year deal done with all of these top edge guys. And a guy that makes sense to me is Boye Mafe. He just makes so much sense. Now, they have him projected at 3 years, $16.3 million, $30 million guaranteed. I'm not mad at that. That's a little higher than what Spotrac had. Spotrac had him at 12.5, I think, roughly. But again, I think he's a guy that can stick around. I think he would complement Izaraku very well. In fact, he probably won't start. Yeah, actually, he might start over Izaraku now. Think about that. But you'll have those three guys playing significant snaps anyway. My thought process in this whole thing, 3 dogs to get after it, 3 dudes, 3 above average guys at the very, I don't want to say above average, dudes, right? And then some depth guys. I think Boye Mafe could fit in that top 3 of edge rushers for you. Let me ask y'all this. How y'all feel about Joey Bosa? Stayed healthy last year. Performed pretty well compared to, previous years with injuries and things like that. Up there in age. He's 30, 31. He'll be 31, I think, when the season starts. Think about Joey. Not a name that's been popping up a lot for the Cowboys, but again, Eazy, Gary, you need another one. I'd like to go with a guy that maybe can stick around a little longer, that play a high level for a little longer, but the Cowboys ended up settling on Joey Bosa. I ain't gonna pump it up, but he played much better last year. I do think in a part of the whole rotation, right? I'll take a Joey Bosa a part of this whole thing. Sure. Still looking for a top dog though. Khalil Mack got re-signed to the Chargers, so he's not here. And then Jadeveon Clowney. Clowney, I wouldn't rule him out. Now that they went and traded for a Gary, I wouldn't rule him out. But I do think Gary, from a run standpoint, and Clowney, they're probably similar, but I think last year Clowney was a better rusher. At least, again, that back half of the season, I don't know what happened with Gary, man. We're going to take a look. But Clowney, I think, probably was more of a consistent player than Gary was last year. And the rest of these guys, there it is. Arnold Ebitiki, I think is his name. That's what the guy was joking about. I guess Bradley Chubb was another one that popped up, right? Injuries throughout his career. A little older, got cut. I mean, he's only 29. He'd be 30, so he ain't that much older. But again, if you're looking for veteran guys to add around the Eazy-E and Gary, the Chubbs, the Bosas make sense. I don't know about Cam Jordan or whatnot, and then Chason. That is one that a lot of people have asked me about. And here is a 3-year, $15 million a year contract projection for PFF. Again, that's not elite money. So I mean, look, I would have been shocked. I said this on the collective. I'd have been shocked if he got over 10. But seeing what these edges are going for, 25 plus, 30 plus, even close to 20 plus for guys like an older guy like Khalil Mack. I think he got around 20-ish or something like that for 1 year. Oh, my man Daniil Hunter, 40 million guaranteed. Crazy bread there. 40 million guaranteed, and he's a beast, by the way. I guess 15 million when you think about it is not 15 million in 2026 is 10 million in 2025, 24. So those are probably the top guys. I expect the Cowboys to at least pick up the phone on them. But what I don't want to see is more of the Dante Fowler, right, Derek? But I don't think the Cowboys need to go down that lane again. We're going to take another call, and we're going to take a look at some of these linebackers. Because, again, they're not done. 609, you live.
What's up, Phil?
What's happening?
Not much, man. Hey, man, first and foremost, I just want to just give you a big shout out on the podcast.
Thank you,
with you and Push Pekin, Law Nation, and Alderman. Like, y'all doing a credible job, and I appreciate y'all doing that.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, no problem. So I just saw the Rashan Gary trade was. I like the trade. I feel like we have outgraded on the pass rusher that we had before Rashan Gary. You know, because I think with Donovan as a Rocky not coming back until probably training camp, you know, that's probably all we have at the moment wise. But trading for probably a better pass rusher and Rashan Gary, you know, as more as a defensive tackle, you know, are we done with the pass rush and the free agency, or do you think we should take a chance on getting Trey, or maybe Abafwe, or, you know, like,
Gotcha.
do you think Jerry?
I got you.
Do you think Jerry has a plan of spending more this year than he had in like the last century-wise?
Yes, man. Hey, appreciate the call. I'll answer those questions for you, man, and appreciate the kind words. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
In short, yes. I do expect them to continue to sign guys. I don't think they're going to be done here, and I do think they're going to spend a little more because they have to. As I've been saying from the very jump to all of this, even before he came out with bust the budget, so they have no choice but to spend money. It's not going to be about just throwing the money, though. It's going to be about the quality of the player or they're going to have no choice but to sign a bunch of free agents because they signed a bunch last year. People forget this. They ain't spent a lot of money, but they signed a bunch of guys last year. They traded for a bunch of guys last year. Didn't matter. They chose quality over quantity. They tried to be selectively aggressive was the whole funny term last year. BS. I don't want to hear that. Go get dudes. Go get dudes. Give me quality over quantity. You likely need both because you need a lot of players on the defensive side of the ball. But I don't want to get a whole bunch of notifications of you traded for the backup quarterback and the washed young corner that got cut during the season, the Kenneth Murrays and the Jack Sanborns, and we got to try to, all right, I mean, hey, man, decent film from here and nah. Go give me guys, right? So they have no choice but to participate. This defense needs productive players. Now, this is not to say they can't go out and sign some cheap contracts. That's all a part of it. Everybody signs cheap contract guys. But that can't be your plan. That's been the Cowboys' plan forever. Your plan can't be, we're just going to go to Dollar General and get my necessities. It's in Dollar General for a reason. Shouts out to Dollar General. We need linebackers too, y'all. We need linebackers too. Let's take a look. Ain't happening. Hey, look. See, look, already at PTSD. Devin Lloyd ain't happening, man. Now, they did lower the projection. 3 years, $16 million. They did lower that thing. It was like 20 plus, I think, on Spotrac. I don't know. But I dare not paying 20 million plus to a linebacker, bro. I don't see that happening. Devin Lloyd had a fantastic year, breakout season. He wasn't. I don't think he lived up to the first round. And this was a guy. I think it was a 2023 draft. Yeah, was it 23 or 22? The Tyler Smith draft. I remember Devin Lloyd coming out was somebody that we were very high on. Had a great year. Would love it. Don't get me wrong. I know a lot of people are like, I don't know, man. Only 1 year, didn't. Fair. I mean, again, I'm not gonna argue, but Kenneth Murray, Jack Sanborn, Shamar James. Yeah, I take a Devin Lloyd, but I don't think it's gonna happen. Devin Bush, though, yes, I would. Again, a lot of these backers, I'm on board with. You could say, well, Sky, that's because anybody looks good next to Kenneth Murray. You ain't lying. What do you want me to lie? Yeah, I don't want to upgrade, man. I think Devin Bush would be an upgrade. Foots was breaking him down, and a couple other guys. Go check out his breakdown of the Kobe Dean and Devin Bush. I think he's a very twitchy linebacker that would fit this scheme as well. Gets downhill, puts his nose in your business. He's not afraid of the contact. But again, man, I just think Nakobe Dean makes the most sense. And I know a lot of y'all don't want to hear that. Another injured guy, all fair. But he can play. Nakobe can play, man. He just got to play, right? He just got to stay healthy. Again, I'll aching into the pass rush. Just because I signed one of these dudes, don't mean I got to be done. Don't mean I'm not drafting another one in the draft. And I think you could disguise a Nakobe Dean type of contract. You can make it look good, right? Here it has 3 years, $13.6 million on average. For some, that might be a little bit too high for you, right? Whatever, fine. You can disguise it as a potential bridge type of deal, though. Where, look, we'll give you the 3-year deal at $12 million or what have you, but it's really a 2. We're going to draft a guy, and we got our eye on some developmental guys that can take over in case this guy can't stay healthy. We can get out of it, etc. But man, if you want to fast track the scheme a little bit, especially at the second level, I don't know how Nakobe doesn't make sense. Be smart about it. I'm not saying you go into and you say, hey man, here's a 4-year, $76 million deal. You're going to count all this money on the cap and things like that because, they don't want to do that. No. I'm not saying be irresponsible. I'm saying be smart, be strategic about it. This is a leader, obviously a Super Bowl champion with Coach Parker. Georgia ties with Coach Deribe. Anything you hear out of Philly, people love the person and player that Nakobe Dean is. It's not about the play. The ball can't stay healthy or hasn't stayed healthy. Yeah, he played a lot in 2024, but has not stayed healthy enough to warrant confidence that we don't need to go elsewhere. We don't go elsewhere. But I mean, I think Bush or Dean, and I'm jumping for joy. Leo Chenal is an interesting case because he's not a starter. He's very much a reserve linebacker in every sense of the word. But every time you go watch Kansas City, the dude's always making a play. PFF has the projected contracts. They must know something. They have tanked over the last couple days. 2 years, $6 million on average. Just the money alone is worth it. If they wanted to try Leo Chenal. He makes plays for them, man. But he doesn't play a whole lot. He's young, 25 years old. Is he a scheme fit? I wonder if this could be, and then look, anybody that watched Kansas City a lot, could he be more of like a Zach Bond situation? The easy comparison to be like, hey man, we got to find our Zach Bond. That's hard to do. A guy you get for dirt cheap, changes positions, and then he goes to all pro. But Leo comes off to me as a guy that's an attacking guy, right? Not necessarily an outside linebacker, but doing more downhill things. That was Bond. Quasi pass rusher guy that moved inside, high IQ, all pro middle linebacker. I don't know if Leo is like that, but maybe y'all would know him a little bit more than I do. From his, again, when watching him play, it's usually I see him making a play downhill, rushing the passer or, on the edge or something like that. But can he flip? Then you got some of the older guys, right? Bobby Wagner, Demario Davis. This is kind of, if we don't land anybody, would they be interested? Bobby Wagner, I think, is, when it comes to coverage, done. We were joking a little bit. The dude he can still play the run with the best of them. But man, teams are starting to take advantage of him in coverage. Cowboys did his last time in Seattle. Demario Davis is an ageless wonder, 37 years old. He was a trade candidate guy we talked about last year. Amazing against the run. When I went and watched some of his film to see, all right, what is Demario Davis now? Dude is ridiculous. I don't know if it's like, hey man, I'm older, but this is a challenge. But I don't know that I studied any, and I only studied maybe like 5 backers at that time. None of them played the run better than him. None of them. And he's heady. He's a veteran. You want to talk about a legitimate bridge, not trying to mask a signing as a bridge, Demario Davis would be a wonderful bridge player. He older though, but he'd be a fantastic bridge. Hey, look, we ain't want to spend a lot of money, but we want to make sure we got somebody that understands the game and what we're trying to do and still can play a little bit while we go draft a CJ Allen or, Rodriguez or whoever, right? Because the Cowboys probably still going to draft a guy. Makes sense. I like Anzalone, by the way, but what I'm trying to get to, and don't sleep on this Justin Stenard, or was it Stenard guy? He played for Denver, got some ties to the coaching staff or what have you, had a better year. Jermaine Edmonds, has he been released already? I didn't think he got released. Okay, that's interesting. Thought they might be trying to trade him. I did not know he got released. That's interesting. Hasn't lived up to his contract, but that's interesting. What I'm trying to find, here you go, is Quincy. Quincy Williams is a guy that at the start of this whole thing, I was like, well, this makes sense. I didn't realize he was going to be 30 years old when the season started. I didn't realize that. And I actually thought he had more of an injury history than he apparently does. I could have sworn when the Cowboys played the Jets, he missed that game because of some neck situation. But you go look at his injury history, it's not as volatile as I thought. A tough guy, played through a lot of injuries, but he played, right? Not his best year last year, but reunite him with his brother. I think he's still a good linebacker. I think he's a schematic fit at the backer position, and he's cheap. See, for me, there are a handful of linebackers. There's more options at linebacker than there are at edge, to me. Are these options elite guys? No, maybe there's more elite elite edges, or if you want to call, I won't say elite. Let me say that. I don't think Daffy's elite, but there are more tier 1.5, 2 type, edges in free agency than there are linebackers. But there's a lot of solid guys that can at least get you to the draft and maybe a year past your draft picks in 2026. That can help you now. I just think you can't get out of this free agency without getting 1 or 2 of these dudes. I mean, hey man, I go low. There's just an endless amount of dudes, man. I know people looked at Bobby Okereke. Didn't have his best year last year either, but I like Matt Milano from a football fan standpoint, but the dude can't stay healthy at all. Shouts out to you, Eric Kendricks. But there's just a lot, man. There's a lot. I really like Anzalone, though, man. Like, anytime we play Detroit Lions, which we played him a lot over the last 3 years, this dude played with his hair on fire. So you got options at linebacker. The Cowboys should be able to come away with at least 1 or 2. I got one more position group want to take a look at. Give you guys a little bit to think on in regards to those linebackers. Let's talk to James. What's good with you, man?
It was good. It's been a minute, man. So because, like I said, it's been a while since I've gotten a hold of it, and since you're on your new format, do you have a general time frame when you kind of come on, or is it kind of whenever things happen and you have time? Because it's been hard for me to try to get on here.
Yeah, in the off season, you got to hit that notification.
I did. Okay, but I just literally just woke up and I'm seeing this, and I'm just like, so we need some serious help on defense, and this is the first move we pull off. It's just like it's a head scratcher. It's like, and I know what you said. I hope the Joneses don't do this again, but I think this was a Catboy move because he likes to, like you said, and I was kind of laughing, almost spit out my coffee. But yeah, it's like going to the Dollar General if you even want to take it all the way out. Like on the weekends when you hit that garage sale, and it's happened to be that 10 for 50 cents. I just don't get it, and I'm hoping, like everyone else, that this isn't the only move, and we actually go out and get somebody. Because as you said, this defense does need help, and that linebacker room definitely needs help. So
it sounds like you are.
But other than that, though,
Rashan Gary.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The only other thing is that I was going to ask you is, and I'm not somebody who really keeps up in the in the draft because I work so much and look at all those different things. And you might have already mentioned it, but are you going pretty much all solid defense this year?
I mean, I don't see how not. I mean, unless Jeremiah Love is staring at you there and you go crazy in free agency. How do you not? How do you not?
Yeah, because definitely the linebacker room definitely needs help.
When I say all defense, I'm talking the first 2 picks. After that, I mean, whatever.
I was
3 picks are darts.
At least that too. Yeah. So other than that, man, I just wanted to call and just get on here and just say I hope this is not here we go again. And out of all the people that do YouTube videos, you and Voucher are the best out there, man. And when I can get on and holler at you, I like to do that because not too many people, know their if I can say it, know their shit about football. So I just want you to know that, man. So when people say good things about you, we mean it for a reason.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it, man. Stay up and stay locked.
You have a great day, man.
There's a lot more. I think that's coming down the pipe.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep looking.
Okay.
All right, buddy.
All right, man. All right, that's the first F, if you will. I mean, right, James? I mean, you're great, not an F. When you say this is a Dollar General, I wouldn't go that far, brother. I mean, look, I think if this is your only move, I think, yeah, you can criticize it a little bit. For sure. I'm not going to fight you on that. If they say, all right, wiping our hands, we're getting, week 3 free agent edges, not participating in linebackers and things like that, sure. If they're going to use this as an excuse, but I don't see the harm right now, if that makes sense. Like, the harm could show up. The harm could definitely show up. What do you mean, Scott? If they come out and say, hey, we spent the money, we busted the budget, that's harmful. But a 4th round pick in 2027? Nah. Even if he's not the player he was or they paid him to be, still 28, 29. He'll be 29, I think, during the season. He started off hot last year. Like, you go look at his film at the beginning of the year, totally different. I told y'all, when we were playing him in the Packers, I was nervous as hell. I'm like, Micah, but Rashan Gary was on the tear. Wasn't the case afterwards. And then when his name popped up, doing some looking around, hearing what Packer fans have to say, Packer insiders have to say, and analysts, and it was like, bye. I was like, oh, that's concerning. What would happen? Let's go take a look now. Now we're going to take a look and see what happened. But we know Jerry loves to rehabilitate guys, or at least attempt to. But damn, calling him a Dollar General. Gee, I can't jive with you there, James. It ain't all that dang bad, bro. He said that. Is that how they're acting, Smalls? He said people are acting like we traded the farm, man. It's a damn 4th. Yeah. I'm not. I didn't realize it. I'm not on Twitter right now. I'm just refreshing my news people. By the way, can I interest you in this? One of the popular names coming out of let me move this down a little bit. One of the popular names coming out of the Twitter world was Nick Herbig. And I said this. Let me move this down so y'all can see. I love Nick Herbig, by the way. I think he's a fantastic up-and-coming rusher. But I said, I know Nick Herbig is the name out of Pittsburgh that keeps getting floated as a trade piece. For good reason. But it sounds like Pittsburgh has no interest in moving him. So why not the other edge in Alex Highsmith? If you've been listening when we've played Pittsburgh, he's a guy I've talked about. Or just jokingly brought up that this dude can play over there. Always been a fan of his, been good. He's been damn good opposite of TJ Watt. Friendly contract that runs through 2027. They could be out on moving him. I don't know. But I doubt they pay 3 edges, which they will have to do with Nick Herbig shortly, thinking out loud. Now that they traded for Rashan Gary, again, only 2027 pieces, though, so maybe they still have something to work with. I don't know if they're going to make another trade, but I would have preferred Alex Highsmith. over Rashan Gary. I think he's the better player. I think he's a better rusher. I think he would have been an excellent guy to have in that room. Oppo, Easy E, and you still can go out and get other dudes. But now I don't think that's necessarily going to happen. I think they're going to go out and sign another rusher. Hopefully. All right, last position group, and I'm not going to go too deep on this, and I kind of already talked about it a little bit. With Jalen Thompson, and that's the safety group, right? I'm really interested to see how they attack this. Really interested to see how they attack this thing, because we're not hearing big names attached to the cap. When I say big names, not big names, but we're not hearing top of the market names. Top of the safety market right now is the Brian Cooks, the Cam Curls. I think Thompson's up there. They have Kevin Byard here. I would not. And he had a good year, and he rehabilitated his play in Chicago. But I think they got to take this position seriously. The restructure of Malik Hooker kind of gives me pause that they'll play in free agency at that position because of how deep the safety position is in the draft, specifically in that first round. I think I know a lot of people will cuss me out. I'll take any of those three anywhere, 12, 20, I don't care. I just don't see this drastic difference between 12 and 20 in this draft right now, unless Downs falls to you or something like that, Sonny Styles. But I don't think there's this throw my hands in the air, slam the pen. We took him at 12 instead of 20. It's not that type of draft to me. And by keeping Malik Hooker safe, I don't know if they're going to play. I don't know if they're going to play in free agency at the position. Again, I talked about it already with Jalen Thompson. I think he just fits this whole thing like a glove with what you want to do. But there's other options. Kobe Bryant's an option. We all know Reed Blankenship is a guy that is tied to, like, you want to talk about a tie. He's even more, when I say tie, I mean tied to. He's even more of a schematic fit, if you will, than Dean. He has a better relationship than Dean would, because Dean plays at the second level, which does tie into the back end. And Reed probably worked directly with a Christian Parker. Only thing is, I don't think Reed Blankenship is particularly that, or he wasn't good last year. Let me just say that. Yeah. It wasn't good last year. 2024, very good. I mean, really, I mean, he was a player for them in their Super Bowl run. Last year, I don't know what it was. Injury, I don't know. I didn't study Reed Blankenship except for when the Cowboys played him, and it was pretty easy to spot. Oh, Mouse and Owls. Now, if they play in free agency, this is where I see it falling, And now they have it here, 3 years, $7 million. That ain't nothing crazy, but I mean, they could probably get him even lower. I can't foresee teams bidding on Reed Blankenship to the point where you gotta overpay. But again, he's not my option. But if they were to sign him, I totally understand why they did it. Christian Parker knows the scheme on the back end. He is a heady guy in that sense. And he had success the year prior. And even years prior, he's always been kind of decent for them. But last year in coverage, man, we worked him, right? I mean, we've always worked him. No, he got worked 2 years ago, too, when we lost to him in Philly. But he probably is the easiest glove fit here. I just don't think he's nearly the best type guy. I mean, I'd take any of these other dudes more. And over him, I'd gladly take Brian Cook. I mean, you want to talk about some underrated DBs in KC that played under Spags. He's one of them. I think Jalen Watson is his name, is another one. Corners. And if we're talking about corners, ladies and gentlemen, Alontae Taylor is a name that's been brought up. And when you go look at that situation, that makes a ton of sense in this scheme. He played a specific role under, I almost said the wrong name. My man that was a head coach with the Chargers. He's now Brandon Staley. Brandon Staley, he played that kind of do-it-all nickel role that Coach Parker talks about. And he played the Cowboys pretty good a couple years ago. He has that mentality, that kind of rugged, dogged mentality. I think he'd be a fantastic get to play slot if they wanted to do that. So, but I don't know if they're going to be active in the cornerback market either. That's the problem, man. They have to fill holes at edge, linebacker, safety, corner. Probably 3 of those 4, multiple guys. And I don't know that they're going to do that. So now you got to kind of pick and choose where you want to go. And Rashan Gary, trading for Rashan Gary should not stop you. All right? Should not stop you. How Bottom said there's a big difference between 12 and 20. I don't really see it this year. Now you tell me between 8 and 20, sure. 7 and 20, sure. If Downs falls to me at 12, if Styles fall or Bain or something like that, yeah, all right, cool. But if none of those top 10 dudes are there, there isn't this massive gap between 12 and 20. Not in my opinion. Not at all. So take your guy. So if you're sitting at 12 and your top 10 guys are gone and you got a bunch of tags touching between 12 and 20, take your guy. Take who you believe is the better player for this scheme or not even the scheme, for this team. Let me just say that, because at this point, it doesn't matter, right? You take the best player in your stack because they're likely touching tags here. But I would love to know, outside of those top 10 guys, what is the difference between CJ Allen and Thieneman, if you will? Would love to know. 252, what it do?
It's been a long time, Sky. It's your boy Keystone.
What's up, bro?
Ain't nothing much, man. How you been?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. Just hoping the Cowboys, participate here today.
Same here, man. You know me. Same here, man. You know, exactly. Doing my homework. But there's a couple of things I want to address. I want to ask you a question because nobody talks about this guy, and he's the edge. How would you feel about AJ Esperanza from the Bills?
Was it? You talking about, was it Esperanza or something like that?
I can't pronounce his last name. Esperanza, yeah.
Oh,
the former Iowa Hawkeye.
Yeah, we looked at him a couple years ago in our Catboy criteria. I mean, again, he falls under that line of there's a lot of guys I'd prefer above him, especially now that they got Rashan Gary. Like he's more of that mode than he is like a demon pass rusher, or at least he was. I don't know. I mean, again, when I took a look at him a couple years ago during the Catboy stuff, I came away like, oh, this is a strong side guy, not a real pass rushy guy, set the edge type, quality guy to put in the room. But I mean, I'm aiming a little higher. Epineza, that's how you say it.
Yes, wanted to make sure of that. Some people don't know that Jaquan Brisker is an unrestricted free agent, and I would love to have him in Dallas.
Shouts out to Penn State. Again, the safety, he's more free though, and this Hooker restructure kind of threw me for a loop. I ain't gonna lie. I didn't think they would. I thought they would really try to go after a guy, but it's thrown me for a loop. But even Brisker, I don't think is going to cost you a lot. So if they do go after safety, they can still sign a guy like Brisker, and it shouldn't deter them. Same thing, like if they sign a Reed, if they sign, I don't know, one of these kind of lower level safeties, it shouldn't stop them from taking a safety. But if they sign a Jalen Thompson, they could be like, you know what, we'll take our chances with the veteran guys.
Right. And it's something also I'm going to say before I let everybody else get their chance. A lot of people, let's just pump the brakes on Jerry Jones a little bit here. Because if you really look at it, he fleeced the Packers twice. First with the Micah trade, and just recently with Rashan Gary, because we brought him in for a rotational guy for next year's 4th round with an option of not even paying him next year. So everybody, let's just relax on Jerry a little bit here. I know we want to be on this neck that he ain't doing this and he ain't doing that right.
Man,
we're going to miss Jerry. We're going to miss Jerry. So let's appreciate him for what he is right now. Because after we done talked about that selective memory crap with Steven, man, but that's another statement. So everybody, let's just relax on Jerry.
Look, we having a good show. I'm not about to sit here and glaze no damn Jerry Jones because he traded a 4th round pick for Rashan Gary. I'm not glazing, bro. Let's chill out now. Let's chill out.
I know.
I'm saying
it's bigger than glazing.
How is it?
But I've been hearing fans on Facebook. But I've been hearing people on Twitter talking about some people they're not good with that trade. And I'm like, how different. When you give it up next year's sport?
That's different. That's different if you want to say, hey man, I like the trade or things like that. But we crowning Jerry Jones for what? Let's relax. You want to talk about relax on Jerry? Relax on crowning him.
I know. Yeah, that too. Oh, I'm good with you on that too. But I just stated that because of what I was seeing on Twitter. That's why I wanted to address that. But I'm with you on that too. Oh, don't get me wrong. I ain't glazing no Jerry. Don't think I'm gonna snap back into reality now. You know I ain't no slouch.
So you
admit? But I just want to throw that out there. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I would admit a little bit just because of that. I would admit.
No,
but don't think that I'm not gonna take it no more further in it.
You know, you say you
I'm
snap
not gonna
back
go
to
all
reality,
out on
so
it.
you on a delusion train because we traded for Rashan Gary and got 2 firsts for Mike.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
A little.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah, that's why I said to myself, but he fleeced the Packers twice. He fleeced them, if you really ask me.
Okay.
That's why I'm like, just, give him some credit, but I ain't going to give him too much now. So don't think I don't see that he can get back to his foolishness too. And Brian Cook from the Chiefs, I want him in Dallas too. Because I posted him on my page. I want Brian Cook. But for what it's worth, I definitely appreciate you, Star.
Appreciate
putting
you,
that
man.
work in. 717 to the death.
717, baby.
Love.
Shouts out to Keith Snow.
Let's get it.
Oh, boy. Now we got to slow down. But don't let me stop y'all. Y'all want to go crazy about it or Jerry? Go ahead. That's not me, man. He's dug a hole so deep for me that it's going to take more than trade for Rashan Gary. And I'm sorry, trading Micah Parsons ain't something that makes me excited. Like, what are we talking about? So we got a lot of more work to do. And then that work has to pay off in results. I don't know when in Cowboy fandom that maybe because we're so used to losing over 30 years, that the result no longer matters, but getting what we do does. Like the result matters. He go hard this offseason and it results in a ring. Hell yeah, we gonna give him credit. He got, the hole's deep, bro. The hole's deep. He got a lot more to do than trade for Rashan Gary. That's all I'm saying. And I think that's fair. I think it's fair to criticize him too. He criticized himself. Oh, interesting. Juan, what's good, bro?
Will, what's going on, my man? Good to hear from you, bro.
Nice to hear from you, man. You down there, you right in the middle of all this stuff. What you hearing?
Man, it's well, I tweeted yesterday and I put you in it. I know I have a family member there in the can't say their name obviously that works for Dallas, but yeah, I know they're doing a lot of work on they're doing a lot of work on Boye Mafe and also what's his name, Adafe Owe. I don't think it's the Hendrickson guy at all. And the reason is the Christopher Parker. When he was at the Broncos, they brought in Adafe Owe on a visit, a draft day visit, and they had a couple meetings with him at the combine. So that kind of gives us an idea what type of player they're looking for. I'm sorry, I just had to gather myself after listening to that last call. I was kind of, saying that the Packers, that we fleeced them is just crazy. Yeah. I do like the Rashan Gary move. It's a low risk, high reward. It sounds like Nick Harris said that they're going to rework that deal. Okay. But my question to you is going to be: do you think rather than just signing like one of these high-end guys, which I just don't see. Do you think they're just going to settle for another like mid-tier guy and just go like solid all the way around? And they'd be addressing all the needs and kind of, what they normally do. They do this patchwork, so when they get to the draft, they can kind of draft whatever they want. But, maybe someone like a Kayvon Chason or Arnold Edebike from Atlanta for the front, and then kind of just play it by ear, signing just those mid-tier free agents. I just can't see them. I'm kind of nervous they're getting outbidded, which is why they kind of overpaid. But at the same time, they paid what they felt was fair, with the Max Crosby deal and then also with the Rashan Gary deal. So just what your thoughts on that? Do you feel that they're kind of getting outpriced or outbid by other players? Anyways, good to hear from you, bro. I hope you're doing good. Hope to see you soon when you come back down here.
Thank you, man. I mean, I think in regards to Max Crosby, definitely got outbid. From what I was told, the Raiders were trying to wait until yesterday. They wanted to gather more, right? More offers, etc. And the Ravens told them, look, this is it. Take it or leave it. You don't do it today, we're out. And the Raiders were like, I want to wait till Sunday. And the Cowboys were apparently talking about trying how to acquire him, whether that be with picks player or just picks. But it never came around to where it was enough. And obviously the Cowboys had the best. I think they had the most resources, 12, right? As opposed to 14, 20, as opposed to 2027 first. But they weren't trying to go that high. So it was like, well, you're going to give us a 2027 first. Cowboys, I don't know how this works. We have to get clarification on this. Because of their trade to get Quentin Williams, there's this frozen, not frozen situation with their first round picks because the Jets get the higher of the two, but I don't know why they couldn't just say, hey, you get the lower of the two, or here's a condition type thing. I think Bobby Belt made a fantastic point where it's like, hey, look, we'll trade him for a first here, then a second next year that turns into a 1 if he plays 25% of the snaps or something like that. But I want to say the Colts did, or the Eagles did something like that when they traded the quarterback to the Colts, Carson Wentz. So it's really weird, but yeah, they definitely got outbid for sure with Crosby. In regards to free agent, we don't know yet, right? We don't know yet. Y'all want to give me breaking news? Cowboys haven't signed anybody yet. We're hearing guys they're connected to, right? I gave y'all this list. Personally, don't think any of these dudes are going crazy from a contract standpoint, but maybe if somebody is offering the Kobe Dean 12, 13 million, that's too much for Dallas. Maybe if somebody is offering Boye 16, 7, that's too much. Jalen, is around 8, 9. I guess that could be too much. But if those numbers are too much, is that really busting the budget? Because one thing you have to do, look, you can't have your cake and eat it too in free agency. You're going to overpay. That's just how the market works. It's about getting the best out of said player you brought in that window that you brought him in for. Unless you're signing, and there's not many of these unbelievable 26-year-old free agents that hit free agency that are elite play. Unless you're signing one of those, you're trying to get the best out of a lot of these guys within a specific time frame, a specific window. And based off the projections of these type of players and contract, I don't think they're just these astronomical numbers. They're numbers that do what? Bust the budget. So we're going to find out. Now the first signing may be something very small, maybe, but we're going to find out here real soon just how serious he is about busting the budget. Let's get a couple more. I haven't talked to this guy in a minute. Hey, Marv, how you doing, man?
What's up, brother? How you been doing?
Long time no speak. I've been fine, man. How you?
I'm good. I've been watching your show.
Oh, Collective?
Every time y'all come on, I watch it.
Yeah, we're probably going to be live tomorrow.
Fuss,
so.
And I talk to Fuss a lot. I got his number. He got my number. So we be going over stuff. For us to be on point with his maybe drafting and all that. So, yeah, everything's going good. How you been? You been good?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What you got for us today?
Yeah. I like what they're doing so far. You just got, like I say, can't build Rome in one day. So I'm just waiting to see what they do. Because you got all the way to July. But you don't want to wait to July to get players. Then you won't. Then you, like you say, you'll get the bottom feeders. So today, all the way up to Wednesday, then you're going to know what they did. You're going to know these next 2 days, 3 days, you will see what we do. Because you can fix that defense real fast. Now, I like that. I like the number 53 from Seattle, the linebacker. Who you talking about?
Oh, Boye Mafe?
Yeah. I like him better because he get pressure, and when they try to when he rush inside, he get pressure. He never gets stonewalled. You know what I'm saying? Because they was doing, I was watching their tape. They was doing, the guy, number 44 from New England, was it Classion? What's his name?
Clavion Chason.
Yeah. So he was getting around the edge, man. But what they didn't say, when he go inside, he gets stonewalled. He couldn't go nowhere. But on the outside, he was getting around that corner. But your boy 53, outside or inside, he was getting there. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't start. And
I'm a big fan of Mafe. I think Mafe fits. I think what the blueprint is going to be here perfectly, and I think he even still has. There's still some room to continue to grow. I don't think this is a situation where it's like, oh, he's a raw product or nothing like that. But it's more like, hey, man, this is a quality guy for the room, and there's still room for him to improve, if you will. Super Bowl champion. This is something I'm big on. Bringing in guys with championship pedigree, whether that be as an NFL or hell, even in college, if you have championship pedigree. The Cowboys, to me, haven't done that a lot. And then when they do, it's like a guy from that's 30-something years old, the end of his career type thing, and it doesn't matter, right? Like I remember when they brought in Bennett. Remember in 2019 they brought him. It was over. Like you didn't bring in Bennett.
You don't want to do that.
Yeah. So, but a guy like Boye just won a Super Bowl, still young. Fits the scheme. Has played in the stand-up kind of confusing. Can want to confuse you defense. He's explosive. He can beat you with power. I've seen him turn speed to power real well. I just think he's a really underrated player, underrated rusher.
That's what I like better.
Yeah. I think I like him better than Gary from a rush standpoint as well.
Yeah. But like I say, that guy, he was, man, I said, man, this brother, and them people, like you see, how Seattle won, is players that everybody didn't know. That shows you, if you just get quality guys that want to play football, you can win.
Wow.
And the people we be getting, they come to Dallas just to get endorsement deals. They don't come to play football. They want to play, then they start seeing them highlights and all the good money with the Cowboys.
I was just about to say that's a culture thing. But let me say this. This is why I think Christian Parker is very important in this whole free agent thing. Christian Parker ain't here for none of that shit. Christian Parker.
Thank you.
Christian Parker, I think, is if it doesn't happen here, it'll be somewhere else where there will be a culture shift with that organization. Again, I am very 10 toes on this. I think there's organizational culture that I don't think the coaches can shift, but I think there is a such thing as locker room feel, whatever you want to call it, culture, that I think coaches can have their hand and their impact on. And I think Parker's that guy. And I think when apparently there's this new rule now too, where you can contact the free agents right away during the tampering period, like 5 of them, with the coaches can contact them. I think Parker can be an advantage because if there's a free agent that's like, man, this team might be offering me a couple more bucks, but it's the Browns, right? And then you get a chance to talk to Parker. Parker can say, listen, man, I can make you, look like XYZ. He could, I hope at least, he could sell the free agent more than a Mike Zimmer could, more than a Matt Eberflus could, more than a Rob Marinelli, not that Rod, but more than these previous defensive coordinators could. Because I think a Dan Quinn is like that. Like if they really wanted to spend money, I think Dan Quinn could have sold these dudes, but we never spent money during that time period. I think Parker can probably sway some of these guys. So that's my only thing. I think if they want football players, like you're saying, I think Parker can see through the BS and find football players.
That's what I like about this new coaching stuff. They're young, they're energetic. They're going to have everybody energetic. It's going to be a fun camp. And that's my fraternity brother, Parker, Kappa. Him and the partner, say.
You be shimmying, huh?
Both of them Kappas. Yeah, the shimmy. They're my brothers. So I'm happy for them. And they're very serious. I like this instead of this foolishness. But I want to ask you a question. Out of the 30 years, how many times we made it to the playoffs?
Well over about a dozen or so, right? I'd imagine.
About 20. Are we 20 and 10? Or 18 and 12?
I couldn't give you. Somebody in the chat can give you how many times we made it to the playoffs. I can give you how many times we won a playoff game, but I can tell you that.
Yeah. I said, that's what I'm saying. The key, like anything, is to make it to the playoffs, right?
Not me personally.
In the playoffs.
But, okay.
Well, the Giants was 9-7, and they beat the number 1 seed Cowboys.
Yeah, and the key is they won in the playoffs. They didn't just get there. That's not the key to me. The key to me is to have postseason success, not just arrive to the dance and not have anybody to dance with.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. But I'm saying, if you be the number 1 seed, that means your team is choking. That means you're choking, bro.
Sure, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You the number 1 seed, and then you get beat by 9-17. We got beat like that twice. Green Bay, the Giants, embarrassing. Them sort of been Super Bowl years. We choked, bro. So, I ain't tripping, but all I'm just saying, the players got to start being accountable too. You know what I'm saying? And we know Jerry,
I don't understand the two thing. How are they not? I don't get how the players have not been accountable. I hear this sometimes, and it just blows my mind because how often are we hearing people literally talk about the quarterback sucks, we don't have a defense, we don't. This player sucks in the playoffs. This player can't do that. Like they 100% are being held accountable. I don't understand.
Yeah, and like I said the other day on Law's show, I said, Law, I can't talk about Dak Prescott, but no, I can talk. We can jam him up sometimes. But sometimes when I saw this playoff, and no quarterbacks was horrible, throwing 4 to 5 interceptions and still winning. New England quarterback didn't play that good, and they was still winning games. It's the defense. If you get a defense to keep them teams down until the last minute, how you think New England won the Super Bowl? How you think the Giants won? That defense was keeping them in the game. So it's all about the defense, bro. If we get a good defense, we can win. It's that defense.
My boy, you preaching to the choir, brother. You know.
Because I'm telling you, I don't hear nothing about Dak Prescott no more. He ain't going to win. If Dak Prescott got to throw 40 times, we ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, man.
Shit, I want Dak to be eating a pork chop sandwich on the sideline. Like these other, like this year, when my friends watching the playoffs, they're like, man, these quarterbacks suck. The Houston quarterback throwing 4 interceptions, New England quarterback throwing 3. They're going back and forth. They couldn't even move. I say, man, if Dak Prescott had a chance with a defense like this, I said, how many Super Bowls he win? All my friends like, man, you're right. I said, this is horrible.
I mean, yeah.
Cowboy fans.
But that starts on days like today.
Yeah.
That starts actually on days like January, February, whenever we hired Christian Parker. Right? That starts to me with an organization having a singular mindset to make a team one and not separate. I feel like this team has been an offensive team, defense team. It hasn't been one. You go look at the Seattle Seahawks, man. That team's a complementary team. They always say complimentary football, but they don't
Complimentary.
build it that way. Like that's the thing I don't
That's
get.
right.
But it starts. Look,
But
it
I
starts at the top. Go ahead, bro.
I think they're gonna do it today and tomorrow and win. They like, cause they know y'all on their head. Y'all
They don't care
fans
about
got
us
the
on
Jones boys over there.
They don't care about something.
Man, trust me.
But
They
what
finna-
I
they
will
finna shock
say
y'all.
is getting Christian Parker, I think is a and not just getting him, but how they are building around Christian Parker has a better chance of sustaining some type of organizational consistency on that side of the ball.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to have that type of playoff defense when you have 7 defensive coordinators in the last 10 years. That's not possible. No, I shouldn't say it's not possible. Because let me say this: it ain't possible with the way they do it. They don't go out and spend a whole bunch of money and pour it all on defense and then say, you know what, we got 1 year to go, let's go. It's not possible. If you're going to have that type of success, you need to build it organizationally, and they haven't. So it's been, you get to the playoffs, you're one dimensional, and that one dimension ain't just defense. It can be, well, we don't run the ball well in the playoffs, so we got to throw it. Or you don't want Dak throwing the ball 45 times in the playoffs every single year. Like I just don't think you want to do that. Or every single game. Let me say that.
We got to stop. Yeah, you make good sense. Like I say, I'm excited. It's A+ to me with Gary. He gets to get out of that Green Bay. Watch what I tell you. He's gonna have a good year. Watch what I tell you. On that fast turf with this scheme, man, this boy finna keeping a cook. And get some more DNs.
Yeah.
And then the draft, I'm glad we didn't get both of them first round because I wanted one of them safety. I like the Oregon. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah,
I like the Oregon safety better than this.
Hey, Marv, listen,
Ohio
give me
State.
any 3 of them, bro.
I'm
Ooh, better than that.
Yeah, thank you. Give me because I'm praying. Please let me get that. That boy running 4-3, and I watch his tape, and he get there quick.
Yeah,
he
give me any of them.
covered. Man, give me either one.
That's why I said earlier. I said to my man, I forget his name, but I was like, I don't care if they take him at 12. I mean, I don't. If that's your guy, if that's your guy, go get him, bro.
Go
like,
get him.
What we really about to
it's
stress
gonna be,
over 12 and 20? It ain't that serious this year, in my opinion.
Scott, I think it's gonna be the corner from Tennessee, the one that plays physical,
Hood.
not that guy that got hurt, and I think it's gonna be the Oregon or one of them other seats. That's what I think their first 2 picks gonna be.
Interesting. Let me speak on that quick. Let me speak on that real quick. But hey, Mark, I appreciate the calls. It's good to hear from you. It's been a minute, man.
I appreciate you, man. Nice to see you, man. I'm gonna watch the show. Y'all going tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I'm actually. I meant to text them this morning and say, hey, we got to go Tuesday and Thursday this week. But yeah, we should be on.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah,
y'all got to.
yeah.
All right, man. Salute to your show, man.
Thank you, brother.
Salute.
So when we brought in Christian Parker, we talked about this, me and Foots. Drafting 2 defensive backs is not out the question. In fact, I think it's more realistic than it is unrealistic. They did that in Philly, right? And the Cowboys need defensive backs. But I do think a lot of that has to do with what happens today or this week, not just today, but this week and leading up to the draft, right? The cornerback market, I don't think is as strong, but there's some guys, right? We talk about Lante Taylor, be a perfect fit. He helps you kind of say, all right, bet we don't need to draft one in free agency or in the draft, but if we do, it's to complement a guy like Taylor. Safety wise, again, I thought 100%, no doubt about it, they're taking a safety in the first round because this room is depleted. They brought back Hooker. If they bring back Hooker and then they sign a safety, does that rule it out? I hope not, because I don't think Hooker is the long-term answer. But I think a lot of that depends what happens in free. That's why I said, it's really hard to narrow down anything in the draft prior to free agency because the Cowboys have way too many needs. And depending how they fill those needs, it changes things. For instance, you went out and Kelsey, I guess, is returning to the Chiefs and got a Max Crosby or you got a Trey Hendrickson. Are you really drafting a defensive end? I would probably say no. Maybe they still do because Trey's 31. But that probably knocks them down a bit, unless like a Bane falls or whatever. But are you going to reach at 12 for a Mesidor type? I don't think so. Do you go 12? Cassius Howe, like those type of play, like do you take those type of players early or at all? Right? Do you say let's attack the front seven with rushers and linebackers, and then we draft our young bucks? That's something I could see them doing because they did it in Philly. They did it in Philly. All right, let me lock this up. I feel like these phone calls should take us into 12, but somebody, because y'all were mentioning like 12 o'clock, 30 minutes. Hey, y'all, man, this thing started a long time ago. It's official at 12 o'clock, but if anybody gets signed, they'll be announcing it. They'll be announcing it. But I hope I made sense when I talked about the complimentary football thing, by the way. I know we can keep revisiting this thing about, you're not wrong, Marv. The defense definitely needs to play like some of these playoff defenses. But I've been saying this for so long, that thought has gotten lost in all of this. It's gotten lost because when we get to the offs, nobody really raises the level of, like, that's crazy to me. I don't want to go down this, but just for context purposes, how many players have raised their level of play consistently in the playoffs? Not played the same, not play work, like raised their level of play. You might get a game here or there. Bro, it does not, and it does not happen. So, the player individually has to raise a level of play, for sure. But when that happens consistently, to me, it is 100% an organizational issue. And right below that, coaching issue. Like I'm telling you, man, you can't get into these playoffs unless you got a stupid squad that plays stupid in the playoffs. The clipboard matters. And we just have not hired a clipboard that gives you an advantage on Sundays in the playoffs. We just haven't. We hired a clipboard that made them boys nervous, according to them. Coach McCarthy said, man, a little nervous. What are you nervous for? But again, we going back, right? We trying to move forward. That's why, you get a Christian Parker and you hope that, Clayton Adams and Coach Shoddy give you some type of advantage on Sundays if you get to the offs. We got Noah on the horn. What's up?
Hey, what's up with it, man? Good morning, Scott. How you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Hey, I had my questions that I was gonna ask or talk about real quick. It kind of changed just by listening to you and listening to some of the callers. But one thing I wanted to say, I wanted to get your opinion on this because I heard everybody talking about, okay, once we fix this defense, we won't have to rely on the offense so much and Dak won't have to throw so much. But what I was thinking about, it's two ways to look at that. If our defense is getting off the field quicker, that means technically our offense will be on the field more. And considering how long we was on the field last year, defensive-wise, and we were still managing to put up 30 points. So that being said, do you think that it'll be some type of balance when it comes to the pass and the run? Because I really do believe our offense is going to be on the field even more when we improve this defense. Oh yeah, I think Shoddy wants to be a balanced team. He even talked about being under center. I think Clayton actually might have talked about it, being under center more and running the ball and play action and things like that. I don't think, even though you pay the quarterback, you pay the receivers and things, the tight end, that screams throw the ball 40, 45 times. I don't think they want to. I don't think that's something they want to do. I think they want to remain balanced. But in order for that to happen, I think what happened last year, you got knocked out of whack a lot. And I don't know that Shoddy responded all the time, greatly in his first year being a head coach and play caller. Because there's room for improvement, but also, like you said, we average like 30. So, you still average 30. But there's room for improvement for sure. But yeah, I think this is a team that wants to, I'm not saying 50-50, but there's going to be games. I love what Clayton Adams said. There's going to be games where this team can't stop us running the ball, so we'll run the ball 35 times. Or this team can't stop us throwing the ball, so we'll throw the ball 35, 40 times. So
I don't think they want to just put themselves in a box, but I think every team wants to be complimentary and they want to be balanced. I don't think you ever, like football, you don't ever want to be like, yeah, we want to throw the ball 40 plus times a game. Absolutely not.
Oh, no. You want to be able to, well, for us, what I would like for us to do, to be able to dictate the game, to be able to pick our poison on what it is we would like to do on offense, opposed to, like you were just saying, throwing the ball 40 times because we always playing from behind because our defense on the field forever. You know what I mean?
And you know what's crazy? Not just on the field forever, but like I think the Cowboys were the worst team in the league in giving up big play touchdowns. So it's not even that they're on the field for they're either getting dragged down the field or a team is popping them for a quick touchdown. Like it was crazy last year. Last year was bad, bro.
It was. I was talking with my son. I was like, you know what, Donovan? Even if we was to make the playoffs, I wouldn't even be satisfied with that particular team that we.
Bro, we either got rocked.
It just didn't look right.
Unless that defense did a complete 180, they would have got smoked.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And the last, it's not a question. It's more, I guess, a opinion because I like to hear your opinion on things. What you think about? I watched film on him. Nakobe Dean. You think he's still an option since we just made this trade?
I do. I actually do. I think if I had to guess from a linebacker standpoint, I'm pretty sure. Let me word this correctly. Don't be surprised if he's at the top of their list. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think he could play. I saw somebody in the chat say they don't think Dean can play. I think Dean can play. I don't think his play is the issue. I think it's injuries.
It's injuries, yeah. Because I heard a lot of the college, we should get this guy. He's a good pass rusher, but man, you better go check they actual film. Because when I was watching his film, when I say he was bruising the big running backs, he was running through them.
Oh, he was putting dudes on their ass when he was blitzing. Yeah.
Yes, man, and I was like, I like that type of. We ain't had that type of physicalness from that position, and forever. I don't even think Sean Lee was doing it like that because he was more a finesse coverage guy. Also, he'll let a hat down, but he wasn't aggressive how this guy is. And I ain't saying none of these other guys. I haven't watched that. What's his name? Boy Mafia. I see you high on him.
Yes,
I'm gonna go watch him once you get off live. I'm gonna go watch him.
Yeah, I think you like.
Hopefully, I can get excited about him today.
Well, you might not if we don't sign him. Then don't waste your time. But yeah.
Right. Right. Now on the I see you got the safeties up there too. I'm not gonna even say nothing about it because it's been drowned out now. So, but if he's there at 12, hopefully we will take him. And
talking about Downs.
And yeah.
Oh yeah, in a heartbeat.
Yeah, that's how we feel, and this the Cowboys. So
yeah,
we'll see, Scott. We'll be right there. We're like, oh, he's on the clock, and we'll know he's right there.
I'd be
and
shocked.
The Cowboys will say,
I'd be shocked if they don't take him. Oh my God!
They taking lead tackle from Missouri.
Oh man.
Nah, they moving different. I'm sorry, bro. Look, they moving different this year. If they are moving different, I ain't gonna just give Jerry all the credit, but the Cowboys are moving different. I don't know if it's just Jerry.
I'll say this: today is the day to show that. When it comes to personnel, today is the day to show, or not just today, but this week, if they're moving different. They move different with the coaching, with the defensive coordinator. There's no doubt about it. But personnel. This week it will show me if they are.
Yes, sir, it will. Because what I don't know exactly what you're looking for, but what I'm looking for is the type of not just players.
I'm looking for people that aren't Kenneth Murray and Jack Sanborn. Yeah.
There we go. Aggressive beasts.
Looking for legitimate players. Starters, dogs. All right. Looking for dudes.
Yes. And like you said, and then when you said that, I know exactly what you meant, depending on what we go after. We don't need finesse. We don't need finesse.
Dogs. Hey, appreciate the call, No.
Dog. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You have a great day.
You too. Yeah, look, I'm a little greedy. Don't get it twisted, but I also understand these boys is not finna spend $200 million. Not asking them to. But I am asking them to not bargain, Ben. To change their ways and kind of, I don't know if these boys got a legitimate all-in in them. But if you ain't gonna go all in on the river, make a nice size bet. Make a nice size bet, you know? Put the pressure on your opponent. Hell, you want to fool me? Check raise me. Check raise me, man. Maybe that's the Rashan Gary. Because B. Bird said it perfectly. Gary is not actually different. Let me see if I can pull this up. Here we go. Cowboys 4th round trade since 2000. You ain't even got to go back that far. But recently, Trey Lance, John Domingo, Rashan Gary. I'll forget 4th round. Just say, 3rd round, 4th round picks because you throw in GP. They've done that. And I said this about GP last year. I said, technically, this ain't new. They've traded for receivers. They've traded day 2, day 3 picks for players in general. This is kind of what they've come to be, right? So technically this ain't new. But you do this and you go get some dogs? That's different. That's different to me. And they have the opportunity. Nick Harris also, and I don't want to say reported, but Nick Harris had tweeted, I think Juan brought this up, that they could be looking to rework the deal for Rashan Gary, where it lowers his cap hit even more. What that looks like, we talked about that earlier. I didn't think that'd be something that they do from an extension standpoint, but they could add a void year or what have you and it'll lower it because he has no more guarantees. So maybe they say, well, look, we believe in Rashan for the next couple of years. Here's some guaranteed money, lower the cap hit. Now the 2-year deal is really a 3-year deal masquerading as a 4-year deal type thing, right? In that case, all right, buckle up. He's here for at least 2 seasons. But they lower the cap hit. And if they do that, you're gonna be spending, right? If you're not lowering the cap hit to not spend. I hope. Real quick, I forgot to do some house cleaning again. Like these things went down fast. We talked about the restructures, Hooker, Steele, but also don't forget the tenders and non-tenders. TJ Bass, 2nd round tender, I believe. Brandon Aubrey, 2nd round tender. And then the exclusive rights or exclusive restricted free agent, one of the two. For Butler and Reddy Stewart. Interesting. You don't have much in the cornerback room, so I get trying to keep something. And Butler 2 years ago showed something for you. Even though he's like 30, I hadn't realized he was getting up there. And then Reddy Stewart was probably your most consistent DB last year, ironically. So, and I like him as a slot option. Not the option, though, but a slot option. So I get it. Reddy Stewart, Butler, keep him around. So you put them in the room with Deron Bland, Savon Revel, Kalen Carson. That ain't the end all be all there, though, right? But you have some bodies to compete. Then you go draft a guy as well. All right, refreshing here as we are approaching the 12 o'clock Eastern hour. I hate Packer fans right now. Oh, that's deep, man. See, this is what I'm talking about. Somebody's showing a low light. Anybody can put a low light on Twitter. Come on now. But they're showing that. I don't know if y'all saw that viral clip of Rashan Gary trying to do I think Micah did it, but I think Myles Garrett did the Hezzy crossover move first, and then Micah replicated it. They both like got to the quarterback real fast, and it was dope to look at. Not Rashan Gary. Rashan Gary did it, and they said, "Where are you going, young man?" Funny, but now that they're Cowboy, it ain't so funny. Another Packer fan, I'm surprised we got a 4th round pick for this. Is what I mean when I said earlier. If you really go look at when this came out, Packer fans were like, "Hey, we can get what we can get," and people are a little surprised they got a 4th. I'm going to say this. Hopefully, seeing how they're more active in the trade market, they can recoup that 4th round pick with a trade or maybe even trade during draft day. But I'm not going to get up in arms over it. But it seems like they just wanted to flat out outbid other teams, and they offered a 4th, and no other teams were offering. Some people were acting all crazy about trading a 3rd for GP though. So see how that worked out. Let's hope it matters. $337. What you got for me?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
I'm good.
First time caller.
Welcome to the show.
I'm doing well. Yes, sir. Thank you. My question to you is like a little bit of a two-parter. What to you would be the best combo of like free agency / trade transactions that would allow us to go into the draft clean, for BPA, for like realistically, I have my hopes, but like for me, realistically, it would be like 2 edges, a linebacker, and a safety. Realistically,
that's literally how I look at it. So if you're talking prior to all this happening, that's where I'm at with it, man. Moving forward though, I'll try to challenge myself a little more here. I mean, yes, the same positions, but I'll try to think of a player. I would say like a Devin.
Go ahead. Oh, my fault.
I was
gonna say.
Go ahead, bro.
My fault, bro. My fault. No, you go. I'm tripping. My fault.
I'll be quick. Just names: Devin Bush, Jalen Thompson. I feel like you feel a little better going into the draft because those are 2 legitimate starters that should be legitimate starters for the next couple of years. So if we're just talking about names, now that you got a Gary, I would still love to go get a Boye Mafe because I agree with you. I think we need multiple, but I'm just trying to secure a couple more starters.
For sure. They like, but for sure every free agent or like the first 4 signings. I mean, because I would guess in total it'll probably be like maybe 7 or 8, where like hopefully 4 or 5 are legit starters, and the last couple are, depth pieces. I would say I think the smoke on Dean is real, and I like Dean. As a starter, I think his trigger is really good.
I like
pretty
Dean
good.
Too. He's Bush, Dean, either one to me. Yeah.
Yeah, and I would also like. I mean, I really kind of sort of wanted Minka, but he just got traded, and I'm assuming it was because they was gonna pay him, because he went for like a 7 or something. But I like Jalen Thompson too. 3, I think it was 3 for 40.
Yeah, I would have paid Minka.
Yeah, but that's how we do. I like Jalen too. I would love. I want corner, but I feel like that would be asking too much. I like Stokes. I feel like if we came out with a 2 DBs, corner, safety, at least 1 linebacker, and 2 edges, I feel like we'd be golden.
And let me say this about wait a minute now. What do you mean, Alex Smith? Y'all throwing out these names. This isn't the Cowboys, right? Cowboys ain't signed no Alex, or I'm not Alex Smith, Alex Pierce. My bad. Hold on. We at that time period now where names getting thrown around. It's free agency, so I just got to make sure.
There's no, it ain't us.
Yeah, no, it can't be us. But I don't know why this. Oh, Colts. Okay, the Colts. Damn. Now I know Alex. I know
he
Alex.
got the bag.
He got the bag. Goddamn. I know Alex Pierce is a home run hitter, but Lord, Jesus, 4 years, $114. That might be the richest white boy wide receiver contract I've ever seen. I don't think I've ever seen a white boy at the wide receiver position get paid that much. Jordy Nelson, move aside. Wes Welker, see you later. Alec Pierce has entered the chat. Sheesh.
Hey, get your money, bro.
Damn. Anyway, where were we at here?
I haven't heard you. I haven't heard you mention. Oh, maybe I missed it, but I haven't. I've been hearing you say Maffe's name instead of like what the guy everybody wants. Trey.
He not white.
Are you low on Trey?
You lying, Gabe? You a damn lie. He mixed with what?
The Hartenstein of the NFL.
Hey, bro, if Alec Pierce is big,
there's no way.
There's no way.
He got a super duper white face.
I mean, he did get the bag though. He run real fast, so he might be mixed, bro.
Hey.
He might be mixed, fam. Hey, his mom might have been swirling back in the 90s, or I don't know how old he is. Gabe, get the hell out of here, dog. He said he black. Bye. My bad. What'd you say now? Boye Mafe?
I was saying you've been you're high on. Are you higher on Mafe than Trey, or are you just lower on Trey?
Oh no. I take Trey for sure. I mean, the injury concern comes with Trey. Not even just take him. That sounds like I'm selling. I think he's a fantastic pass rusher, the best pass rusher on the market. No. So I brought up Mafe because I think he fits what I think their blueprint is going to be. I feel like they missed on Crosby, so I think they want to go with a gang of dudes. And I think Mafe can be a part of that gang. Trey would be the kind of consolation prize to, I feel like it'd be a consolation prize to missing out on Max, where it's like, okay, we got Trey or Max. We don't necessarily need the Mafes of the worlds or whatever. We can go get some more complimentary rushers. But I feel like Mafe with Gary, those are a complement of solid guys that other teams have won Super Bowls with deploying like that, you know?
Yeah. I also feel like honestly, I also feel like right tackle is a sneaky need, but whatever. I really feel like we have an opportunity to like just be in an incredible position going into the draft, because like I have a feeling that one of either Sonny, Downs, and I have a weird sneaky suspicion that Bain might fall. Honestly, I feel like one of them is going to be there. And I feel like one of Howell or Thieneman or Terrell is going to be there, and also like not just them three, Delane too at 12. One of those four guys is going to be there. One of like Howell, Thieneman, Terrell is going to be there at 20. So I feel like we're in a great position.
We can,
but we have to nail free agency is what I'm saying.
There you go.
If we don't nail free agency, then it's gonna be wonky.
All right, man. Hey, appreciate the call, good brother. That was a good first call.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir. We at the Black Delegation, we trade Mike McDaniel for Alec Pierce. Y'all said he mixed. Ain't nothing funnier though than the San Francisco 49ers getting 2 third-round picks because they ruled Mike McDaniel a minority for the picks. And he mixed. Well, I didn't see that coming though. When I found out Mike McDaniel was mixed, I said, what? All right. CeeLo said he's pissed we didn't get Minka. Yeah, Minka would have been dope. What's up, Troy? We just having some fun, man. Free agency is officially kicked off. Cowboys Nation, do me a favor. Y'all been rocking with me since about 9-something or what have you. Appreciate y'all. We're getting all caught up, everything Cowboys, with the tenders, with the restructures, and obviously the big trade in Rashan Gary. We did some grades. I gave that a B right now. That could go up or down depending what they do with the rest of free agency. It could go up if they get another pass rusher to pair with Rashan Gary, or it can go down if they say Rashan Gary is our big fish. We ain't doing nothing else. I find that hard to believe, but right now I think it's a solid B. Solid B. It was claimed Ferg had some season or two that hasn't worked out great. I was about to say T-Jack. Them boys is like, nah, he going back to the raisins at the potato salad group. Y'all not claiming no damn Ferg though. Ferg got knocked out and he said, oh, snap back to reality. A white man. That seasoning going, ain't it? I hate it had to be him, but hopefully it come back. You know, hopefully it come back. Cause I fool with Ferg. All right, last call. 252, what's up?
Hey, what's up? What's going on? What's up with you, Scott?
I'm good. How are you this morning? Or afternoon, I guess.
You don't even know who this is. This TP from NC.
TP from NC? You ain't called me since A to Z.
Man, I've been down, Scott. Been down, but the boys will let me down. But they still my boys, and I've been hearing a few guys talk on your show.
Okay.
And I'm like you. I ain't giving Jerry a pass until it's over.
I
gotta see what's going. I gotta see a little bit more. I gotta see a little bit more, Scott. But I'm like this right here. I'm just like your theme. I'm optimistic. You understand what I'm saying? I'm optimistic, and I see we got some brothers that's gonna be on the coaching staff, and like I said, I've been around school, and them brothers get they for some reason they get the best out of them players. So we're gonna see what's up with it. He gonna try everything else. So let's give him a go. And I'm kind of like was with you when Michael got traded, but after I seen when Michael was acting, how he was acting, I was kind of like,
yeah, he didn't help.
We can't have this. I'm all for him having his money. I'm all for all that, but it's a way you got to do things. You understand what I'm saying? Be professional about it. You understand what I'm saying? And when I saw him coming out and laying on the benches, what the other players gonna say? Well, Michael can do it. Hey, we can do it. You know what I'm saying?
Killing me.
So we didn't need that in the locker room, Sky. We really did. And I hate it. And I was all down with Michael, and I'm still down with any player trying to get his money. Huh?
You keep calling Michael. I just think it's funny. Yeah, he did. He did not help himself. We did not have to get to that point. We could have just nipped that in the bud by extending your ridiculous pass rusher. But it got
somehow or another, your true self come out. And we don't need that.
I don't think Micah ever changed. Micah always been kind of a strange character, but I don't care for. Like I forget who said this. Somebody said your highest paid players don't need to be your leaders. Like everybody's not a leader. I don't think Micah is a leader. He tried to be. He was trying to get to that point or whatever. The mother can play ball. Go play ball. Not everybody in the locker room. Charles Haley wasn't no damn leader. He was nuts. Not saying he's Charles Haley, but you have to have other guys in the locker room to do that stuff too. It didn't have to go there, and he didn't help himself out. And once he did that, it was like, yeah, this ain't looking good for you, bro. I don't care about the rest of the other stuff.
Yeah, I was up with. I was really up with him until all this stuff started happening. You know what I'm saying?
I think a lot of people.
And him and Trayvon acting like two kids on the side. You know what I'm saying? That stuff's got to go. You got to be professional.
The Trayvon situation different. I'm willing to put up with whatever for an elite player, but not for Trayvon. Like, bro, you ain't good no more. You ain't. I mean, seriously. I mean, you're not good no more. You can't be. You can't be. You can't do certain things no more when you ain't got that juice. Got him knocked out here. TP is closed. We locking the phone lines up. But appreciate you calling in, man. I don't know how this turned into that, but yeah, man. Devin, you preaches the choir. We ain't even had to get there, but yeah, that training table thing definitely. Again, I would again maybe a little biased here. I ain't gonna lie to you, but boy, sure would love to just nip that in the bud a year prior. But here we are. And if I had to be fair, I feel like Jerry understood. Like, I don't want to go down this road again. But then he franchise tag. I don't know, man. I don't know. One thing you can't do is personally piss off or insult Jerry. Like, can't do that. You out of here. You do that. You out of here. But yeah, Michael Parsons, no. But Micah Parsons, yeah. We got any breaking news? Don't see any right now for the Cowboys. Besides, and it's not Cowboys, but our mixed friend here, Alec Pierce, getting the bag. Why is that the only thing trending right now? Damn, used to seeing a white boy get that kind of money, man. That receiver. Trent might get traded. Yeah, I take Trent Williams. Let me get to these super chats, though. I got a 7 for you, bruh. Nah, they ain't gonna do that. All right, let's get to some supers. Read the chat, and then hopefully some breaking news pops off. If not, I'll come back through, drop some videos on whoever the Cowboys sign. Let's see here. We at the 9th. Boom, boom, boom. B Bird, shouts out to you. Drop 2. It says Sky's back like the old days. Yeah, in the morning. I knew this week I was gonna be back, and I'm probably gonna be obviously a couple different shows this week. Be on a collective. Trying to work on something, getting me, Vach, and Foots together again. And I think the collective is going to be twice. And I should be back live talking to you, or at least some videos for sure. We Them Boys dropped 5 and said we need a starting linebacker and corner today, not June 1st. Yeah, I mean, corner again. We haven't talked about corner a lot today, but that's another one, you know. Gotta press my button for you. Hold up.
Super chat.
Star Guardian X. Not familiar, but shouts out to you. Drop 5, it says, still trying to learn players. So this trade is not good for Dallas, says Star Guardian X. No, I wouldn't go that far. I guess fans on Twitter, according to some people that have called in, are like not feeling this trade. I don't think this is a bad trade. He helps your room. And the cap hit sounds like it's going to decrease. The compensation wasn't insane. Feels like he could have got him for less, or he was going to get cut and they just didn't want to get into a bidding war. So maybe in context, it was more than you would have liked, but look, 4th round pick, dog, is really, we're throwing darts. So you would hope Rashan Gary gives you more than a dart throw for the next 2-3 seasons. So no, I don't know why. It's definitely not bad for Dallas. That's for damn sure. So, but people have preferences, right? Like people, again, he hasn't been great the last half of the season last year, but I do think you get him here with this defensive line room, these coaches, chip on his shoulder, he should at least be able to provide you some solid play at the very least, you know, with the ceiling to be better than that. I believe that. Sully dropped 2, said, man, bump Jesse Jackson.
Super chat.
Sully, I missed it. We Them Boys dropped 2 and said, GP getting paid a lot of money. Jerry, stop playing. Tell you what, free agency definitely is going to put a silencer on the whole GP stuff. Because if you get that done, you open up more money. Eric Stokes signing back with the Raiders. Another cornerback that was on the market. In Parker, we trust. So I wanted to bring this up to the caller. I'm going to say this. Whatever DB Christian Parker directly recommends, you got it. I'm not saying I'm going to sit here and blow smoke, right? But if Christian Parker, not as a liaison like in Philly, not as a pass game coordinator, like he didn't have total control, I don't think, on specifically signing players or what have you. He might have get an input on, hey, what does this film say, et cetera, et cetera. But I think he's going to have a huge say, not just the draft, but on signing any defensive back. If Christian Parker says, I need to have that defensive back, with the way he has developed players, with the way he has coached, what this system requires, I believe in it. Call it blind. I would admit that to you. Yes, this is me blindly believing, if you will. As opposed to Matt Eberflus likes Kyer Elam. Why? He doesn't really fit this. This doesn't make any sense to me. That's why I personally believe they went to Matt Eberflus and said, look, this is the menu. And the menu cheap. You cool with this? Whatever, man. Just come on. Don't do that with CP. CP seems like he has a knack for talent, an eye at least for that position. Be real. Let him pick the guy. I'm not saying if he picked Kyer Elam, I'm going to be happy about it, but I don't think he would pick that, right? I think he would get, hey, this is the dude right here. This is a starter. Now, if it's a down roster bargain bin, well, let's hope he develops that bargain bin into a rotational guy. But I'm talking about if CP wants a starting safety, wants a starting corner, I will give him the benefit of the doubt. I think that's fair. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. All right. Let me refresh a couple different things here. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, it's mad early, but after the Rashan Gary trade, I thought we was finna go on a little heater here, you know? They're probably trying to figure out monies, talking to guys, negotiating, right? But so far, yeah, you tripping. Who said this? See, Cowboy fans wild. They calling Rashan Gary Sam Williams. All right, listen, bro. Y'all gotta relax. Yeah, y'all gotta relax. Yeah, nothing. Well, we will keep our ears and eyes on what's happening out here. Free agency just started at 12 o'clock Eastern. Long ways ago. And whatever happens, I'll jump back in there. Now, if something crazy happens, like, Trey Hendrickson type of deal, we'll be live. It'll be an emergency podcast. I'll be right back on here live. But other than that, I'll try to keep you up to date with some of these signings, with some quick videos. And I'm going to wrap to my boys, man. Wrap to Vach and Foots and see if we can get a show going for y'all sometime this week. All right. Let me see here. Steve says, Sky, New England offers us a first and a second for Pickens, just like they try to do for AJ. Are you talking? I don't want to happen, but curious what you would do. A first and a second for GP. Where are their picks at? End of the first? I don't know about that, man. Is the team in the top 10 winning? Hey, let's talk. Let's boogie. The 31st pick? The 64th pick or something? It is still a first and a second, though. But see, me, I'm flipping them. Yeah. No. Them picks. I don't want them picks, man. We got two. We got 2 first round. How many more first round picks you want? We got first round picks. But if you tell me, hey, man, I get that and I flip it for some dog, but you got a dog already, GP. But then I guess we can have a conversation, but I'm just not feeling it right now. And my TV just said, it's time to go, Playboy. It's time to wrap this up. I feel you, TV. I feel you, TV. I have overstayed my welcome. With that said, man, let me go ahead. I don't even want to turn off, but let me go ahead and press this button and get the heck up out of here. We got some stuff popping off, and whenever we get some news breaking, I will report back to you.
Push the goddamn button. Push the goddamn button.
Kenneth Walker and KC. That's a good one. Not gonna lie. That's a goodie. We back? We out of here, man. Appreciate y'all for coming through this morning and rocking with me. I will and I shall return. We out here. Love it.